2.30 que shots going.
Officer still stands for 5? No.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, let's get it going tonight. Let's get it going tonight. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining in tonight. Some interesting stuff. And it's kind of sad, too. It's kind of sad, too. I was going through my breaking news that I gather for each show. Look at this guy over here. Yeah. Going through my breaking news tonight, and it's sad. We're getting close to a year for the show. We're almost at the year birthday for the show. I don't even know the exact date, honestly. Don't even remember the exact date. But we're getting closer on that year mark for the show. Wow. It seems a hell of a lot longer, that's for sure. A lot longer than a year. But came across this case that we had first talked about in the very beginning of my show. So it kind of reminded me, is like, yeah, oh wow, we are close to a year for the show. And then also, it's like, wow, we never had heard nothing more about it. It's sad. So some of you might remember the case, some of you might not. Some of you might not. I don't know what that means about the small town people, but maybe you were at the wrong show. I don't know. Sorry about that. What's up, Commercial Zone? It's okay. I know it's a holiday. Oh, yes. We got some Scott Reich for you tonight. I love Scott Reich. Kid Kitty, what's up? DS, ticket number 1. Good evening. Jethro Tull, it's Taco Tuesday. I had pizza. What's up, Kelly Miller? What's up, Caddy? Look at that new icon photo. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. We got Chucky right here, though. What's up, Mark and Betty? Yes, I did a highlight on it earlier. We talked about it earlier today. You should let me know what you think. Because I think they want that thing down for different reasons. What's up, Katrina? I might play it tonight if you guys missed it. Katrina. And really, it's about the peace, positivity, and progress. It's always about the PPP. Other people can make fun of it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because it's ours, baby. It's ours. And we know what that means. And we're proud of that shit. No rude or disrespectful comments to or about anybody, period. That's how it goes over here. What's up, Typically Unique? Thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. Detective Golden, ticket number 7. Hope you're feeling better. What's up, Maya? Thank you for hopping in again. Appreciate you. Ooh, crystal balls. Nice to see you. What's up, Senny Curve? How you doing? D. Marie. Spooky emojis. I'm loving the Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody, by the way. Kaleida Hope, what's up? All the pumpkins. Hopefully all the kiddos had a good time, too. Passing out candy. Yeah. Oh, so exciting. So exciting, especially for the little kids, you know? Oh, that's so cool. Boo. What's up, Nina? Boo. Oh, Typically Unique. Swampside Chick. What's up? Happy Halloween. Ticket number 20. What's up, Storm Dancer? What? What? Can you send it to me? In email or Discord or whatever? Caddy's gotta remind me about something too, I think. Thank you, Bianca. Ticket number 23. Appreciate you. There was something. I know. Look at Chucky's eyes, too. He's just looking at you like, ooh. Ticket number 17 of number 7. So, Holly Smith, happy Halloween to you. Crystal, what's up? Oh, pizza. Deborah, what's going on? Happy Halloween. Oh, you down with PPP? Yeah, you know Maya. How do you pronounce that? Is it May? How do you pronounce that? I apologize. I don't mean to mispronounce it. What's up, True Crime Only fans? Made Louisiana fried chicken, baked beans, and corn. Oh, home cooking sounds so good. You got a ticket, it's your like number, but if you don't remember, you still got your ticket. Thank you, 49er girl. Appreciate you. Aw, that's cool. Yeah. So, they're so excited. It's such a fun holiday. The Ellen Greenberg videos. That's right. Hold on. You already sent those, right? There was something. Miley. Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. From now on, I won't forget. Miley. Thank you. Where's my costume? Well, I had bought this mask that looks like Heath Ledger's Joker. And it had kind of like Harsh's. He probably got it from the same place. It had green X's going over the eyes and then like pink things going over the mouth. Well, I'd got it not not this last weekend, but the weekend before that. And right after that, that's when I was. Remember when I was going to like Walmart a couple times, running a bunch of errands. I was getting different gear. I believe that's when I got the new computer too, because I remember that Monday morning I tried to do a stream and it just wouldn't work no more. So I had no choice but to go get a new computer. And so I had all of these bags all over the place. Then that's when I got really sick. Remember, like really sick. And so one of those days that I was sick, and I wasn't streaming, because I always feel like I gotta be working. You know, it's like as soon as I'm up, I gotta be working on the show. Gotta be working on the show. Until I'm doing the show, I gotta be working on the show. After the show's done, you know, I want to play some games or I want to do some hanging out or something, but I always end up working on the show. So it's like one of these things where I'm just always working on the show. So I was sick. I wasn't doing a stream that morning. I was like, I got to do some kind of work. So I was like, let me pick up, because it was a little mess after a couple days of me just coming home from the store and just be like, ugh, and just put the shit out, just put the shit all over and just, you know, I'll do no energy. So this one morning I was like, screw it. Let me reorganize, let me organize, you know, all this other stuff. I don't know. It could be somewhere. I swear I looked everywhere for it. I even looked in my car. I swear. I looked everywhere for it. Can't find it. I'm thinking I threw it away, thinking that it was a bag that didn't have anything in it. Because honestly, if you have one of those, because they were at Walmart, if you have one of those masks, it weighed like nothing. It literally weighed like the weight of a Walmart bag. It was nothing. So I'm thinking maybe I had threw it away on accident or something. So yeah. And unfortunately, when you try and go get a mask on Halloween, what happens? Yeah. Let's go get a Christmas present on Christmas. Right? Oh shit. So yeah, that's what happened to mine. Oh my gosh, Crystal. One of my neighbors passed out hot dogs and hot chocolate. That's interesting. How many? I mean, that's good. At least people could eat supper. Thank you. I appreciate that, Caddy. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It's the free way to help out. You know, grub it. It ain't. Kids get tricks. Chili dogs. Ooh. Oh, those are so good, though. I love chili dogs. Alrighty. We got a little bit of breaking news. Like I said, we're almost at a year for the show. Anybody that was here from the beginning in the first, I think, month or so, because after that, we really didn't have any updates with this case. You'll remember this one, and it's kind of sad that nothing. It's kind of sad. There's nothing. So we'll get switched to that. And we'll go ahead and get this night started. Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. I appreciate you.
Amber Waterman faces a charge of causing the death of an unborn child and kidnapping, resulting in death, after she allegedly kidnapped and murdered Ashley Bush and her unborn child. Her husband, Jamie, is facing charges as an accomplice. Their federal trial was set for December, but has now been reset to June 3rd of next year. Once that trial ends, Waterman could face another trial in Benton County. Ashley Bush was a mother of 3, 31 weeks pregnant from her 4th child, when she responded to a job post on Facebook last year. Investigators say that post came from Amber Waterman, posing as an employer to lure Bush and kidnap her unborn child. 1 year later, Waterman faces federal charges in connection to the death of Bush and her baby, Valkyrie Grace. Jamie Waterman, Amber's husband, is charged as an accomplice. Their federal trial in Springfield, Missouri has been reset several times. Interim Benton County prosecutor Joshua Robinson says with
What's
the
up,
nature
Cindy?
of this case, it's not unusual to keep getting delayed.
Continuances in any case, especially one of this magnitude, are common. So it, my reaction is that it's not surprising, it's not problematic. In case
Where was this at? Oklahoma? Gosh, seriously, it has been a year. Arkansas. This is in Arkansas. It has been a year since we talked about this. Oh my gosh, no likes on this video. You know what? Let's put a nice message on here. Thank you for covering this case again. Because for real, there hasn't been nothing out there. Let's put some hearts on there too. That's so sad. Yeah, this was Arkansas. What happened is this is crazy. What happened is this mom, Ashley Bush, was trying to make some money for the family. They didn't have a lot of money, okay? She was trying to do some Facebook marketplace stuff, okay? This lady right here, Amber Waterman, told her that she had a job for her. So she wanted her to... Oh, Janice, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, Janice. Excuse me. So she had told Ashley that she had a job for her, so she wanted her to go fill out an application. She was going to bring it to her. Oh, sorry, I lost all my paperwork. Can you come up over to our place and you can fill it out? They unalived this woman and tried to... Well, she... As far as we know, she unalives this woman and tries to take the baby that was inside of her womb. Now, this gentleman, her husband, comes home and claims he didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't know nothing. He didn't know. The boyfriend of Ashley, her husband, fiance, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. Back then, it seemed real suspicious. If you see the interviews, maybe one night we'll kind of go into this case a little bit. But they apprehended her pretty quickly. But it's just crazy. This is one of the. It kind of hits right here because this is one of the first cases that we had discussed when we started the show. When we did talk the bits of true crime, when we talked true crime and not other stuff. This was one of the first ones, and it was just like, man, this is one of the first. It's like the Idaho4. This Ashley Bush. You know, these different ones, the Shanquella Robinson, these different cases that came up as conversations in the talk show when we made it. And all of these things, it was just like, I got this platform. Why don't I use it? Instead of talking about, freaking roller coasters and freaking space shuttles. Let's try and talk about these cases so we can get some justice for this stuff, It's horrible.
Their federal trial in Springfield, Missouri has been reset several times. Interim Benton County Prosecutor Joshua Robinson says with the nature of this case, it's not unusual to keep getting delayed.
Continuances in any case, especially one of this magnitude, are common. So my reaction is that it's not surprising, it's not problematic. In cases like this where the
I appreciate you.
is so serious,
I appreciate you.
You want to be sure that everybody has time to properly prepare for trial, that the defendant's attorneys have time to do a proper investigation.
According to court documents, Waterman allegedly took Bush from Maysville, Arkansas to Pineville, Missouri. She's accused of killing Bush there.
Yeah, it was right on the border. Oh gosh. And I'm not even, it's graphic. It really is. It's horrible what they did to
attempting to
this
take
one.
her unborn child as her own. At the time of federal indictment, former Benton County prosecutor Nathan Smith says he was seeking the death penalty. And Tuesday, the one-year anniversary of Bush's disappearance, Robinson confirmed he will do the same.
If and when the case comes to us from the federal system, we do still plan to seek death.
Robinson said he's been in
Good.
contact with Bush's family and has been prepping them for a long process.
We did try to meet with them and try to prepare them for what to expect. It's always difficult when these cases...
all them babies don't have a mom no more, All them damn babies have no mom no more because somebody, there's so many freaking children out there that don't have a mom and dad. Why? And you're going to do that to somebody?
Tend to drag out.
During his time as prosecuting attorney, Nathan Smith told 5 News the Benton County case is on hold until federal prosecutors wrap up that case. Again, now that trial is now set for June. Lauren Spencer, 5 News. Thanks.
All right. New information from Maine authorities reveal a detailed timeline showing the warning signs of declining mental health of suspected mass shooter Robert Card, and that it had been building for months. And that worries, and that many people were worried he might be capable of mass killing. Maine sheriff's authorities released the information, saying that Card's family first contacted them way back in May. They said that Robert Card's mental health had started to decline in January, and they warned the police that he had access to firearms. Then, in July, Card claimed he was hearing voices and was talking about shooting up his military reserve unit. And at that point, the military sent him to a mental health.
This is July.
Facility where he was released after 2 weeks. Then, August 15th or August 5th, Card was denied permission to buy a silencer by a Maine gun shop owner. He had answered yes on a form that said he had been treated for mental health, had been in a hospital, and the gun shop owner said that disqualified him. Then, September 15th, sheriff's deputies did a wellness check on Card. He wasn't home, so the deputy issued an alert to other law enforcement agencies to try and find him. It warned that Card was armed and dangerous. September 16th, the deputies returned to his home a second time. Still, Card doesn't come to the door. Then, on the 17th, the deputy spoke to Robert Card's brother, who said he would try and get all of Robert's guns. There's no word if that was ever done.
What?
But October 18th, the police alert to locate Robert Card was canceled. And 1 week later, on the 25th, police say Robert Card gunned down 18 people in the worst shooting in Maine's history. He was found dead 2 days.
Look at that. The sheriff's alert was canceled 5 days before that crime took place. Here, I'll zoom it in for you guys. Wow. Oh, new docs for real? Damn, I had just checked too. Okay. Well, let's go to the new docs here in a minute. Let me play this here.
Dead 2 days later of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Wow.
With all these warnings, why wasn't more done to prevent this mass shooting from happening? Joining us with more now is Jesse Weber, News Nation legal contributor and Law and Crime Network host, and Jennifer Coffindeffer, News Nation's Law and Justice contributor and a former FBI agent. Great to have both of you here. Jesse, I can't believe this. When you read this timeline, it's unfathomable that somebody...
It's a notice for a Zoom. So I'm going to go ahead. We can get to it here in a minute.
didn't intervene and stop this man and take those guns away from him.
It's a notice
when he was
for
exhibiting so much bizarre, strange behavior and threatening to shoot up places.
I have questions. I definitely have questions. I mean, I think there was an effort, at least in part of the Army Reserve and the family, to try to get some intervention here. There was an aspect of the police that I still have questions about. Like, for example, I don't understand when the family first alerted police in May, what happened between
Halloween,
May
Un-rav-el.
and July when he was ultimately committed to the mental hospital, because we know in the beginning of July is when he purchased a rifle that was found in his car.
Mhm.
So it seemed that there was a lot of reliance on the family to talk to him. We know at the end, the reason that File 6 alert was ultimately canceled is
What's the
because
File 6
so
alert?
the File 6 alert was issued by police, and it said to all law enforcement agencies in the state, we don't know where Robert Card is. He's armed and dangerous. He's had psychotic episodes. That's when they ultimately do find him at the house, but they don't ultimately go in. They hear him in the house, but they don't actually go in. My concern is, number one, why wasn't there more of an effort to actually detain him? And why wasn't a yellow flag alert issued as well? The yellow flag, of course, in Maine would allow law enforcement to detain him, to ultimately
Wow.
petition the court to take away the guns. It seemed there was this reliance on the
Wow.
family to make sure that the guns weren't there. That's what happened in the end. The law enforcement said the family came forward and said, we'll make sure to secure the guns, and they might.
And you remember the press conference? You remember how we kept repeating over and over and over and over? We couldn't even listen to it anymore. That was like one of the only press conferences I was like, I can't listen to this. It's just the same stuff over and over and over and over, and you're not even saying anything, but you're telling everybody you want to be as transparent as possible. You're gonna tell me after this you were fucking transparent? Oh, shit. You're gonna tell me? Wow.
Might have relied on that. That's the part I don't understand. And I'm sure right now the victim's family members are wondering if someone dropped the ball.
Oh, well, one family member's already gone on television to say how outraged he was. Jennifer, what do you make of all this, and why in the worst shooting
Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to her. Let me go
in
back to
Maine's
this.
history?
May 3rd, July 16th, August 5th, September 15th, September 16th, September 17th, October 18th. Tried to buy a silencer because he answered yes on a mental health question. A couple weeks after he was released, he tried to buy a silencer and was denied purchase because he answered yes on a mental health question. Then they could not locate him, so they put out an alert. They still couldn't find him the next day, and then 2 days later, after putting the alert out, they talked to his brother, and his brother says, yeah, I'll do it. And then a month later, so what? You're going to ask the family to do it, and you don't do a follow-up? Even your paper boy does a follow-up. And then 5 days later, does that.
He was found dead 2 days later of a self-inflicted gunshot
What's up,
wound.
Nicola?
With all these warnings, why wasn't more done to prevent this mass shooting
Oh,
from
yeah.
happening?
That's what I've been saying, Cindy. That's one of the things. There's not enough services available. That's one of the things I continue to talk about is if we took care of our own fucking people and didn't cut the funding for all these damn services and we actually helped our people. That's right. Typically Unique is a podcast. Shout out Typically Unique. Cindy, check out my show that I had Typically Unique on a couple weeks ago. We got to have Typically Unique on the show again here soon. Shout out Typically Unique. Let me put her link up in chat too. Hold on. Her and his. Let's see where. Here you go. Please go sub.
Joining us with more now is Jesse Weber, News Nation legal contributor and Law and Crime Network host.
Straight on.
Depper, News Nation's law and justice contributor and a former FBI agent. Great to have both of you here. Jesse, I can't believe this. When you read this timeline, it's unfathomable that somebody didn't intervene and stop this man and take those guns away from him when he was exhibiting so much bizarre, strange behavior and threatening to shoot up places.
I have questions. I definitely have questions. I mean, I think there was an effort, at least in part of the Army Reserve and the family, to try to get some intervention here. There was an aspect of the police that I still have questions about. Like, for example, I don't understand when the family first alerted police in May, what happened between May and July when he was ultimately committed to the mental hospital? Because we know in the beginning of July is when he purchased a rifle that was found in his car. Mm-hmm. So it seemed that there was a lot of reliance on the family to talk to him. We know at the end, the reason that File 6 alert was ultimately canceled.
What's the File 6 alert?
So the File 6 alert was issued by police, and it said to all law enforcement agencies in the state, we don't know where Robert Card is. He's armed and dangerous. He's had psychotic episodes. That's when they ultimately do find him at the house, but they don't ultimately go in. They hear him in the house, but they don't actually go in. My concern is, number one, why wasn't there more of an effort to actually detain him? And why wasn't a yellow flag alert issued as well? The yellow flag, of course, in Maine would allow law enforcement to detain him, to ultimately petition the court to take away the guns. It seemed there was this reliance on the family to make sure that the guns weren't there. That's what happened in the end. The law enforcement said the family came forward and said, we'll make sure to secure the guns. And they might have relied on that. That's the part I don't understand. And I'm sure right now, the victim's family members are wondering if someone dropped the ball.
Oh, well, one family member's already gone on television to say how outraged he was. Jennifer, what do you make of all?
Okay, that's all we're going to listen to. We're going to skip.
New at 4, the FBI is in Moscow, Idaho today, back at the home where 4 University of Idaho students were murdered nearly a year ago. They'll be there through at least tomorrow, collecting measurements of the home to construct a 3D model. Idaho's former state attorney general believes it will be used for trial. The FBI can't say for sure because it's an ongoing investigation. The suspect in the case, Brian Koberger, does not have a new trial date set yet, so investigators are using this additional time to build the models. The university, who now owns the house, originally planned to demolish it this semester. They're holding off on that for now.
Another legal twist in the case against a woman accused of suffocating her boyfriend to death by zipping him up in a suitcase. As her trial was delayed yet again, Sarah Booth.
That one's a little long. We'll go into that on another show.
We are following breaking.
We already covered that one. Here's one from earlier today.
The trial for the man accused of killing 2 girls in Delphi, Indiana, will be held in October of next year. Richard Allen's trial was moved today. His previous defense lawyers withdrew from the case, and the new ones argued they couldn't be ready for trial in January. Allen is accused of murdering Abigail Williams in Liberty German in 2017.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Okay. So that'll be it for the breaking news for that. We're going to go ahead and get into the document now. This is the order regarding notice of hearing Zoom information. It's probably going to be redacted. Yeah. The court is mindful that limited courtroom capacity and potential travel restrictions may interfere with the victims and the defendant's family ability to observe the court proceedings in this case. On November 2nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Therefore, in the event that they are unable to or prefer not to attend the proceeding in person, the court finds it necessary to make the court proceedings available via Zoom for the victims and the defendant's immediate family members under the following restrictions. Obviously redacted. So that is the new document for that. All right, 1 second here. This is just real quick. I'm going to play this from earlier, and Un-rav-el's going to be joining us here in a few, and then we're going to get to some of this other new stuff. This is from earlier if you missed it. This is regarding the whole audio video construction, the University of Idaho statement, and my response to it. I'll go ahead and blow this up. For dropping this in our mod Discord this morning. Appreciate you, Caddy. From Brian Netton on Twitter. Yes,
out,
this
Caddy.
is somewhat unexpected, especially considering prosecutors agreed to have the house demolished, and it likely would have been torn down already had victims' family members not fought it. I told family members, got a heads up, FBI would be back today. University says they were told the visual displays take months, but were not feasible under previous trial timeline. Well, what was the previous trial timeline? What are the replies? There's only 2 of them. That's what we were all esteeming months ago. What the hell? I mean, I'm glad they're doing this, but why now after demo was approved? Interesting. I find it very strange this was not done already by the prosecution. This is unbelievable. What was the previous trial time? I mean, can you guys answer me that question? Investigators are returning to the house where the crime happened in Moscow, Idaho. The FBI will be back today to construct visual and audio exhibits and a physical model of the home. Plywood we have seen on doors and windows will be removed this morning. So they're going to do a visual and audio reconstruction so that way they can tear down the freaking house and then add it to the 3D shit that I showed you guys before of what they're going to use. And I'll show you guys that again if you haven't seen it either. Brian Etton, this is interesting considering prosecutors initially approved of the home being demolished. University says they were told the visual displays take months to build and were not feasible under previous trial timeline. They take months to build and were not feasible under previous trial timeline. But now that there is more time, they can recreate the model. And I ask, what was the previous trial timeline that made it not feasible? What the fuck is this? Somebody answer me. Somebody answer me. What the fuck is this? What was, huh? That's why I asked you guys. That's why I asked you guys a few days ago. Do you guys think it mistrial, dismissed, exoneration? Like the possibilities are like, what the hell? Oh, they thought that from the beginning. When they said it was a unalive situation that first day, and that the community didn't have to worry, that's when I was like, huh? No, they are not tearing it down today. Today, that's what I thought too, Katrina, at first, because when I read it, I was like, oh shit, they're tearing it down. No. They're constructing, it says that they're constructing a visual and audio or constructing visual and audio exhibits in a physical model of the home. They couldn't do it before because it couldn't happen in the timeline. So then that makes me wonder, is the FBI going to be there over and over and over and over? Like, what's going on? How long does that typically take? The FBI is going to be all over that. How long does that typically take? Thank you. I appreciate that, Kelly. Well, this is because if you guys want my honest opinion, this is my honest opinion. What's up, Claire? This is my honest opinion. I think they think that the trial might end quicker than what they think it will or used to. And I think that's what's putting the go ahead. I'm just, like Harsh says, I'm just spitballing. I just honestly think that they're not as confident as they used to be, and they were like, okay, let's get this thing. I kind of like this background. It's pretty cool looking. I don't know. What else? Why else would they want this thing? Why else would they want this property gone ASAP? Yeah, this is today. This is today, right now. This was 1 hour ago. This was 1 hour ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, it might piss some people off, but I don't give a shit. You know, like, that's just my opinion. I just think they're. Let's go. Let's go. Because in case something happens, we definitely don't want the house to be, because then Howard, listen. How would they be able to tear this property down if the trial ended quicker than they thought? Think about it. So if something were to happen with the trial, and then all of a sudden BK is not on trial anymore, they don't have the person, they don't have somebody else, do you think they're going to be allowed to tear it down then? Let's hurry up and get this motherfucker tore down now. You see where I'm coming from? So then, why else? That's cool. You're not tearing it down because none of the families, well, 3 out of the 4, don't want it torn down. So you don't tear it down out of respect for the families and the community. Why all of a sudden now? What changed? Oh, because now Ann Taylor's really trying to get that grand jury dismissed? The indictment dismissed? They keep coming out with supplemental requests for discovery over and over and over. They continue to ask for stuff that they should have already. You got to understand, the university is a business too. And let's be clear, the president became the president because he's good with business decisions. Ultimately, good with business decisions. So when he's looking at it as a business decision, he doesn't necessarily have to drink the Kool-Aid of anybody because he's got his own Kool-Aid to worry about, right? So when he's looking at it as a business decision and he's looking at it from afar, who's to say behind the door he doesn't talk like we do, but out in public he's agreeing that everything is kosher? Who says behind the scenes he's not sitting there telling his closest people, yo, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen with this shit. And I'm telling you right now, in this little room, and I'm telling you right now, if something happens with this trial, it could be years before we are able to not take a hit without tearing it down. So we need to get it done now. Because if we don't, and something happens with this trial soon, do you think the community is going to allow us to tear this down? No, they're not. They're not going to allow us to tear this down until we either find somebody else or we have somebody else convicted. Then the community would probably be like, okay, tear it down. That's where I'm coming from. That's why I feel, in my own personal opinion, that the reason that this shit is being is because not everybody's drinking the same Kool-Aid because they got their own Kool-Aid to worry about. And when you got your own, you look at somebody else's Kool-Aid and you're like, whoa, it's a little watered down. It looks like food coloring water and not Kool-Aid. Because if you got Kool-Aid, you can see that shit swirling in it, You know it's Kool-Aid. That's what I think. I think Homeboy is getting scared. I mean, he's like, because think about it. They can get this shit done real quick before something happens because they've already put it out. Listen, guys, we've already put it out there before. We were ready to tear it down 10 months ago. We were ready to tear it down 8 months ago and 6 months ago and 4 months ago. And we've been talking about it and we've been talking about it. And we're starting to get the tide to turn in our direction after talking about it so much. People are finally starting to jump on board. We need to do it now because if we don't, then it could be who knows how long until we're able to tear it down. And as a business decision for the university, they don't think it is a good business decision because if they thought it was a good business decision, then they would say, it's more than welcome to stay up until the trial is over. But they don't think it's a good business decision because instead they say, we need to tear it down as soon as possible. There's the difference. No fault. Because that's what you're paid to do. You're paid to make good business decisions for the business. No fault of dudes, no fault. You're making business decisions. That's what your job is. But when you look at it with the business mind, then you understand, yeah, they want this shit. Because what other reason would they want it done? To help the prosecution? What does that help the prosecution with? What does that help? What other way does it help? Then for them to make sure they got this shit down and grounded before they have to look for somebody else. Then they ain't tearing that shit down ever. Period. That community, if that happened and they tried to do that shit, you can't tell me that community wouldn't fucking have a fit. There's students out there still, even though BK's arrested, there's students out there still that are freaking scared, yo. Like ain't nobody been caught that scared. And I apologize. There was that other document about the IGG information November 2nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. What's up, Un-rav-el? Are you there? And since you guys like that background here, I'll put it on there. Where'd the music go? So November 2nd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Yeah, I mean, you can see when you can still hear it on those interviews. They talked to them students. There was one of these interviews I watched a couple days ago, a newer interview where they were talking to Washington State students. They're scared. Like nobody's been caught. BK's arrested. He's about to go on trial. And they're still scared like the real person ain't been caught. It's messed up. All you can do is feel for them. I can't imagine trying to go to school and feeling that way. Hey, what's up?
Oh, I thought the mic was messing up.
Can't imagine trying to go to school thinking all that. What's going on?
Nothing. It's crazy.
It's cold as hell.
It is cold. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Now, Scott Reich, there's a Scott Reich video, and he was talking about win for Koberger. I was like, huh. I haven't watched Scott Reich for a while. I like watching Scott Reich. Crime Talk. He covered a lot of the Chris Watts case. I think that's when he got popular on YouTube. If you guys don't know who Scott Reich is from Crime Talk. What's up, Tiffany? Scott Reich from Crime Talk. I think he got popular from the Chris Watts case. But I've been watching him since the Chris Watts stuff. Because that was... I think that was the first one I started watching on YouTube shows. YouTubers talking about true crime was the Chris Watts case, I think. If I remember.
That one's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was Chris Watts. But yeah, he was actually lives in Denver. He's a defense attorney, and he's one of the people that I'd always watch when I started watching YouTube true crime stuff. So whenever he comes around and has a video talking about these cases, where's the floating bed? What does that mean? The floating head? Oh, yeah. It didn't work like that. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when I was wearing that neon yellow, green hoodie, whatever color it was, and it kept like it just kept like appearing or disappearing, appearing. It was doing one of those things. I'm like, well, that didn't work out the way that I thought it would. So, no floating head. But you got the Max Headroom. Max Headroom wasn't a floating head. He had a suit and tie. Damn, I guess I could have wore a suit and tie. Shoot. But anytime he talks about any of these cases that we cover, I like to hear him. I don't know. I like his sarcasm. So I'm gonna check this out real quick. And then if you want to get to some stuff, if you wanted to share some stuff, you're fine. Let me see here. So it's about 25 minutes or so he talks about Kohberger. Let's see, one here. All right. Let's see what Scott Reich has to say. I love his sarcasms.
All right. First on the docket, Brian Kohberger gets a win over the prosecution. Now, when I say win, the defense won a motion. And if you were to go back and look at our previous episodes when we talked about the defense wanting what they get in this particular case, I said, give it to them. And I told you, my old boss in the military was always, I'll give the defense whatever they want.
I don't have a green screen. It's just a black sheet behind me. So I was thinking if I wore a black hoodie, then my head would float. But it's not the case because there's the lighting on my hoodie is different than the lighting on the sheet behind me because of my lighting. So because of that, it like made it go in and out. If that I would have had to have like strobe light alerts on my stream and stuff, like sorry if there's any kind of issue, like from the flashing. Yeah, it just wouldn't have been good. I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. So it did. But I should have thought about like a tie and a dress shirt or something, at least, with the Max Headroom stuff or something. I don't know, something.
And we're still going to win. I don't understand why the prosecution was hiding this. And let's take a look at it. Now, like we've done in lots of important cases and rulings that have come down in cases, we've gone directly to the court's order. Now, this is a very lengthy order, but I have tried to cut it down as much as possible. But I think it gives a good factual outline. It creates or develops the issue, it develops the law, and then the conclusion as to why the judge made the ruling. Now, at the end of the day, is it going to make a hill of beans at trial? I don't know, but the defense should have been entitled to it, and I'm not sure why the prosecution denied it. When the prosecution doesn't turn over stuff that's important to a case, well, it looks like you're hiding something. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. So this order was released just this morning as it relates to the Brian Kohberger case. And the court states in its introduction, on November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered. As part of law enforcement's investigation into the homicide, the FBI employed the use of investigative genetic genealogy, known as IgG, using DNA located on a K-bar knife sheath found at the crime scene. Through the IgG process, the FBI constructed a family tree of individuals whose DNA matched with the DNA found on the knife sheath. The FBI then sent local law enforcement a tip to investigate defendant Brian Kohberger. Koberger was arrested on December 30th, 2022, and charged with 4 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of burglary. Nothing about law enforcement's use of IgG was used to obtain the arrest warrant for Koberger or to obtain the search warrant for his DNA. The state filed a motion to prevent the disclosure of the IgG information to the defense. The defense opposes the motion and filed a motion to compel.
Jeff, I never said how many days, Jeff. You can go rewatch the show. I never said how many days. Sorry, buddy.
Requesting discovery of everything.
I said for a while. Never mentioned days.
Pertaining to the IgG investigation,
Sorry.
including the family tree built by the FBI.
Has to keep going.
Now, disclosure of information gathered from the IgG investigation is an issue of first impression in Idaho. That just simply means there's no case law to guide the court as it relates to this particular issue from either the legislature by way of statute, rules, or from higher appellate courts in Idaho saying this is the issue. So it's an issue of first impression. Now, the state claims that the IG information was not used to obtain any warrant and will not be used at trial. The court finds that the defense is likely entitled to see at least some of the information from the IgG investigation, even if it may ultimately be found to have no relevance to Koberger's defense. However, because the court has not seen exactly what information pertaining to the use of the IgG is available, the court cannot say precisely what should and what should not be disclosed at this time. Because of this uncertainty, the court grants the state's request for an in-camera review of the IgG information. After such review, the court will enter the appropriate discovery and protective orders. So basically what they're saying is, the court is saying is, hey, prosecution, you may not like it, it may not be admissible, but that doesn't mean it's not discoverable. And the court's saying, I don't even know exactly what it is. It may be completely irrelevant. That's why I'm going to do an in-camera review, which is a fancy word for simply saying the court is going to look at this, decide what is relevant, and then turn it over to the defense, and there'll be a protective order. Another fancy word for you can't give this to anybody else. We've seen this recently in the Delphi case. You turn over information that's subject to a protective order, you could get in trouble. So the court goes on further here and states in its kind of analysis here, on November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were found deceased in Gonsalves, Mogan's, and Kernodle's off-campus home on King Road in Moscow, Idaho. The cause of death for each was ruled a homicide. Law enforcement discovered a tan leather sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan. The Idaho State Lab had located a single source of male DNA, the suspect profile, left on the button snap of the knife sheath. Now, once law enforcement had single source DNA from the K-bar's knife sheath, they conducted what is called short tandem repeat STR analysis. An STR DNA analysis involves looking at 20 regions within human DNA and allows law enforcement to make a direct comparison between 2 STR DNA profiles. Law enforcement submitted the STR DNA profiles obtained from the K-bar knife sheath to the Combined DNA Index System, also known as CODIS, a database of STR DNA profiles from convicted offenders, arrestees, and crime scene evidence to identify the source of the DNA. No match was found. Law enforcement continued to investigate the homicides, and video canvasses in the area of the King Road residence that were conducted into the investigation. The video canvas revealed a white sedan that piqued the interest of investigators. The video footage was provided to a forensic examiner with the FBI, who initially identified the sedan as a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra, but later indicated it could be a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. Law enforcement agencies were on the lookout for the Hyundai Elantra in the area. A 2015 white Elantra registered to defendant Brian Koberger was located in Pullman, Washington. Law enforcement determined that Koberger's physical description matched that given to investigators by a surviving roommate of the victims, and that Koberger's cell phone travel was consistent with that of the white Elantra in the early morning hours of November 13th. Based on this information, law enforcement believed Koberger to be the driver of the white Elantra that was seen on the video surveillance around the King Road residence at the time of the homicides. Law enforcement also obtained cell phone records indicating that prior to the homicides, Koberger's cell phone had utilized cellular resources that provided coverage to the area of 1122 King Road on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th of 2022. On December 27th, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Koberger family residence located in Albright, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28th, 2022, the state lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of the suspect profile. On December 30th, 2022, Koberger was arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder. A search warrant for Koberger's DNA was issued on January 5th, 2023. A traditional STR DNA comparison was done between the STR profile found on the K-bar sheath and the defendant's DNA. The comparison showed a statistical match. Specifically, the STR profile is at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if defendant is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source. Then the litigation ensues. Now, law enforcement use of IgG to find a lead after the STR DNA profile from the knife sheath did not return a matching CODIS. It is unknown to this court when exactly law enforcement employed the use of IgG. Now, a brief discussion of what IgG entails is necessary to better understand the significance or insignificance of its use in this case. Consumer genetics has exploded, driven by the second most popular hobby in the United States, genealogy. This hobby has been co-opted by law enforcement to solve cold cases by linking crime scene DNA with the DNA of a suspect's relatives, which is contained in a direct-to-consumer DTC genetic database. The relative's genetic data acts as a silent witness or genetic informant, wordlessly guiding law enforcement to a handful of potential suspects. Driven mostly by genealogical hobbyists, the majority of the DTC ancestry genetic testing services rely on single nucleotide polymorphism, or SNPs, which are mutations at the level of the individual. SNP data can reveal whether users share segments of this genome with other users' relatedness through a common ancestor. This works by analyzing the percentage of the overlapping bits of genetic code, so-called identical by descent, sections that one shares with relatives. Assuming no historical inbreeding, one likely shares roughly 12% of their genome with first cousins, about 3% with second cousins, and less than 1% with third cousins. Thus, by finding and quantifying overlapping genetic regions, DTC companies can predict genetic familial relationships. The leading consumer genetic companies, 23andMe and Ancestry, allow consumers to download their raw genetic data in plain form text, which can then be uploaded to third-party websites. Up to 62% of DTC consumers will upload their genetic data to third-party websites for free or for a small fee. One such third-party website is GED Match, an open access service that is free for most basic searches. GED Match users can connect with even more distant relatives who used different testing services like Family Tree DNA or MyHeritage. They do so by uploading their SMP profile generated elsewhere on GED Match.
Oh, I know. They're my
SMP data
favorite.
is analyzed using a simple algorithm, and the site then produces a list of likely relatives automatically without the need to share any underlying genetic information with the putative relative. In just a few years, GED Match has cultivated a large community of hundreds of thousands of users. Because the identity of the person from whom the crime scene sample came in is often unknown, law enforcement uses a false name, John Doe for example. Then when their John Doe matches someone in the database, they use genealogical data to determine a common ancestor who might be a great-grandfather or great-grandmother. They then triangulate other data, such as birth, voting, and military records, to build out the pedigrees from the common ancestor, identifying all of the potential individuals who may be suspects. As we each have about 1,000 fourth cousins and 1,000 fifth cousins,
Happy
depending on
Halloween
the
to
degree
you,
of the
too. Thank
relation.
you.
This process can be quite time consuming. The methodology is known by different names. In the forensic genetic research community, it is referred to as long-range familial searches, or LRFS. Law
Scott,
enforcement sometimes refers
where's your
to this as
sarcasm?
forensic genetic genealogy. The use of these databases like GED Match does not necessarily lead to a single individual as a potential suspect. Once they have this DNA, then they upload the SMP data. Rather, it would identify possible relatives who might be in the database. And once a putative relative has been identified, a family tree is created, working backwards to grandparents and possible great-great-grandparents. The family tree is then built down. The construction of these family trees is highly subjective and is based on the use of public records such as marriage and birth certificates. In some instances, contacting individuals for further family information like out-of-wedlock births, name changes, or adoption. This process leads to a pool of individuals.
I'm sorry. I gotta stop this real quick. Meant my son said, "Mama, you need help." Oh shit! Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad? Oh shit! She's like, I get the family back. No, I mean, my son even said, "Mom, you need help." Oh shit! She said, "CJ, I'm addicted to my race." Oh shit! Oh shit! I just had to pause it real quick. Oh, I seen that comment. I'm like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. Oh, sorry. Scott, where's the sarcasm, man? Usually you got this thing spiced.
Individuals rather than one specific individual.
Thank you,
The
Tiffany.
state describes the law enforcement use of
shit.
IgG in this case as follows. Investigators used IgG to begin the process of developing a lead to the individual who left DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. The Idaho State Police utilized a private laboratory to develop an SNP, the singular nucleotide polymorphism, profile from the DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. The private laboratory started using genetic genealogy to develop a family tree, but after law enforcement decided the FBI would take over, the private laboratory ceased its efforts and sent the NSP profile to the FBI. The FBI uploaded the SNP profile to one or more publicly available genetic genealogy services to identify possible family members of the suspect based upon the shared genetic DNA. The FBI went to work on building a family tree of the genetic relatives of the suspect DNA left at the crime scene in an attempt to identify the contributor of the unknown DNA. The FBI built the family tree using the same tools and methods used by members of the public who wish to learn more about their ancestors. The FBI consulted social media, viewed vital records such as birth and death certificates, and viewed other information already contained in the user portal for the genetic genealogy service, including unverified information submitted by other users of the genetic genealogy service. The FBI also consulted subscription-based databases available to law enforcement for information on individual people. The product of the genealogy conducted by the FBI was a family tree that contained the name, birth date, and death date of hundreds of relatives, as well as the familial connections between each other and the suspect, Brian Kohberger. The FBI then sent the local law enforcement a tip to investigate the defendant. The IgG process pointed law enforcement toward defendant, but it did not provide law enforcement with substantive guilt or evidence. The FBI did not, for example, conduct a direct comparison between the SNP profile from the K-bar sheath and the defendant's SNP profile. That type of direct comparison required more traditional STR DNA analysis, which was conducted by the Idaho State Police, not the FBI. So we get into litigation, and the state wishes to protect and not disclose to the defense the raw data related to the SNP profile and the underlying laboratory documentation related to the development of the profile, such as the chain of custody forms, laboratory standard operating procedures, analyst notes, etc., as well as all information related to the IgG efforts in creating a family tree and identifying potential relatives, including the identities of the Genetic Genealogy Service and the personally identified information of the defendant's relatives. Now, while the FBI no longer has access to view much of the information it used to create the family tree, the state acknowledges that the FBI does possess the family tree itself, notes jotted down by the FBI agents as they constructed the family tree, and any records created to document the removal of the SNP profile from the Genetic Genealogy Service pursuant to the DOJ policy. And the DOJ policy required that Kohberger's SNP DNA profile be removed from the Genetic Genealogical Services. Well, in support of the motion to compel that the defense had filed, and in opposition to the state's motion for protective order, the defense submitted the declaration of Ann Taylor, a declaration of Becca Barlow, and the declaration of Stephen B. Mercer, and an affidavit of Lee Larkin, and the declarations of Gabriela Vargas. The court noted this is obviously a case of first impression, but they were able to find 3 opinions that suggested the discovery of such information was in fact appropriate. They cited to a case called State v. Bortree, B-O-R-T-R-E-E. There was also another case called State v. Burns, and a case called In the Matter of Michael Green. It's no need in going through all those necessary opinions, but the court considered that since this was a case of first impression, and goes through a little bit of the analysis. And it says in the Hartman case that they also mentioned, it says on appeal, Hartman asserted that he had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the segments of his DNA that he had in common with relatives that those relatives voluntarily uploaded to GED Match. The Court of Appeal stated without the GED Match analysis, there would not have been a later warrant for Hartman's DNA, just as there was not for the preceding 3 decades. It is undisputed that Hartman, in this particular case that they're discussing, never supplied a DNA sample voluntarily to any source. Thus, if the trial court had concluded the GED Match investigation was unconstitutional, it would...
Yeah, even though there's not much, hot sauce to it, it does have a lot of information. He's going through a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the documents, and then I think he's going to get to his spice and his pizzazz.
Would have inevitably suppressed the other DNA evidence as the fruit of the poisonous tree. In sum, if Hartman succeeded in his challenge to the GED Match comparison, the later DNA comparison of Hartman's DNA to the crime scene DNA would also be excluded because they would not have occurred absent the alleged constitutional violation. But the court says, guess what? You have no expectation of privacy in common DNA that relatives have voluntarily uploaded. I think that's somewhat significant as the court continues. Well, the state also says that, hey, this information, it's not discoverable. The defense says, hey, this information falls within the ambit of the Rule 16 disclosures, and that Kohberger has a right to discover and question and investigate what led to his arrest. The court noted that the family tree built by the FBI merely pointed law enforcement to defendant, and law enforcement followed the lead to develop a substantive evidence of guilt that was used for his arrest, and that will be used at trial. The state contends that the only relevant DNA evidence is the DNA found on the sheet and the DNA taken directly from Kohberger, because those DNA profiles can be directly compared and, according to the state, matched. The defense argues that the IgG information sought is material to the preparation of the defense because the defense must have an opportunity to challenge how the IgG profile was created and how many other people the FBI chose to ignore during the investigation. The possibility of other relatives who might be similar to Mr. Kohberger is extremely important to the defense in this case. The process used in this method of identification may be extremely important to Mr. Kohberger's defense. The timing and steps utilized are extremely important to Mr. Kohberger's case, investigation, and defense. And the defense team has discussed the use of statistics in this type of case, with experts who have informed the defense that the manner of identifying Mr. Kohberger via this type of search may have significant impacts on the statistical analysis of the CODIS profile generated by the Idaho State Police Lab. Without access to the actual genetic genealogy search methods and results, it is impossible for their experts to address these issues. The court goes on and says Kohberger has presented enough evidence to meet the low threshold required to show that at least some of the IgG information sought is material to the preparation of the defense. First, the defense presented the declaration of Becca Barlow, as well as a testimony from Barlow on August 18th of 2023, and stated their opinions. It is imperative to the defense in this case to know how Mr. Kohberger was identified and who else in the family tree might have been identified as a subject of investigation. It is unknown to the defense in this case whether every lead or possible suspect was further investigated and ruled out by genetic testing. It may not be possible for any defendant to investigate family relatives who are unknown to him and may in fact have been in the area at the crime. Essentially, the defense would like to know whose DNA matched the suspect SNP DNA profile uploaded to the genetic genealogy service and who else was then identified on the family tree. The defense could then investigate who shares DNA with Kohberger to determine if these individuals were around the King Road residence at the time of the murder and if law enforcement obtained these individuals' DNA and tested it against the DNA found on the knife sheath. The defense seeks this information to determine whether Kohberger was or is the sole suspect. Next, Barlow asserted that the IgG search can impact the statistical rarity of a profile in a manner similar to a cold hit search, meaning that the statistic that is generated by the analysis of the IgG search could yield a relevant and admissible statistic. Goes on that the expert Mercer testified that an SNP profile can shed light on the reliability of an STR profile, but first, one needs to know how the SNP profile was obtained, the lab process, the family tree, and who on the family tree was not tested for STR purposes. Essentially, according to Barlow and Mercer, the SNP profile and the information gathered from it can be used to attack the rarity and reliability of the STR profile, which the state will present at trial. This information would potentially challenge the state's statistic based on the STR analysis, and the comparison between Kohberger's DNA and the DNA on the knife sheath showed a statistical match. Specifically, the STR profile is at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if defendant is the source than if the unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source. The court also notes it is plausible that Kohberger may use the IgG information obtained in discovery to challenge the admissibility of other evidence. While such a challenge seems futile since the IgG information was not used to obtain the search warrant of Kohberger's DNA and will not be presented at trial by the state, the court cannot say with certainty that the defense team cannot make a successful challenge if given the information they seek. At least some of the IgG information the defense requests bears some abstract, logical relationship to the issue in this case, and based on the defense experts and the limited case law on the use of IgG, there is some indication that the pretrial disclosure of the undisputed evidence would enable the defense significantly to alter the quantum of proof in his favor. The court cannot say that the material sought will play an important role in uncovering admissible evidence, aiding witness preparation, corroborating testimony, or assisting impeachment or rebuttal. For these reasons, Kohberger has met the low threshold required to at least show that the IgG information is material to the preparation of the defense. There's further discussion about Rule 16, and then the court addresses the argument that the state says that, hey, this is not in our possession. This is in the possession of the FBI. And this court notes that the state argued in its reply that the information is in possession of the FBI and not in possession of the prosecuting attorney. The court says, not so fast. The Idaho Supreme Court recently held that if law enforcement agency is involved in the prosecution of the defendant, then that agency's records, which are material to the defendant's guilt or innocence, are effectively within the possession, custody, or control of the prosecutor. While the prosecutor is not required to comb the files of every agency, the prosecutor's possession, custody, or control of the evidence may be presumed if the agency participates in the investigation of the defendant, or the investigating police agency holding relevant material evidence acts as an arm of the prosecution for the purpose of the criminal discovery statutes. The court notes here the FBI was working in conjunction with the police department and the Idaho State Police to investigate the homicides. From the court's understanding, the FBI set up a public tip line, conducted the IgG analysis, identified the suspect's car as the 2011 through 2016 Hyundai Elantra, and possibly aided in interviewing witnesses outside of Idaho. The FBI was indeed a law enforcement agency acting as the arm of the prosecution to investigate the case. Thus, the records pertaining to its work on this case are records within the possession, custody, or control of the prosecution for purposes of discovery. That almost seems so obvious, but it just shows you in litigation, people take sometimes unrealistic positions simply to argue to do lawyer stuff. So the court finally concludes that Kohberger has made the requisite showing that at least some of the sought after evidence is, one, material to the preparation of the defense, and that encompasses results or reports, scientific tests, or experiments made in connection with this case, which may include reports of memorandum that were made by a police officer or investigator in connection with the investigation. And finally, that it may be of substantial need in the preparation of the defendant's case. The state's argument the IgG investigation is wholly irrelevant since it was not used in obtaining any warrants and will not be used as trial is well supported. Nonetheless, Kohberger is entitled to view at least some of the IgG information in preparing his defense, even if it may ultimately be found to be irrelevant. In balancing these interests, the court will conduct an in-camera review, all the IgG information, and in the possession and custody and control of the state, including the FBI, to determine precisely what needs to be disclosed and what does not need to be disclosed. I know that was long, but I think it's important to hit the key points and not.
Woo! And thank you everybody for hanging through that. Here's where the pizzazz comes.
Just summarize generally, at least until you hear all the information. So what does it mean?
Here we go.
All the IgG information is going to be turned over to the judge. The judge is going to look at it, see what's relevant, decide what the defense gets. That's all. And the judge is saying, hey, you know, the defense has made a couple of good arguments here. One, it's certainly in the care, custody, and control of the state, so they should have turned it over. Why were you delaying it? And to make kind of a frivolous argument, well, the FBI is not within our control. We're just a little old prosecution office here. They were involved in the investigation. They have to turn it over. It makes you wonder why they don't want to do it. Why they haven't done it to this point. This is why I don't get it. The government just needs to turn everything over. I've said it before. It creates doubt. It creates speculation.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much, Leslie. Thank you for coming over here. Appreciate you. That's so sweet. He just dropped some bombs. That's what I'm saying. Scott Reich, baby, dropping bombs. Here we go.
It's going to be turned over to the judge. The judge is going to look at it, see what's relevant, decide what the defense gets. That's all. And the judge is saying, hey, you know, the defense has made a couple of good arguments here. One, it's certainly in the care, custody, and control of the state, so they should have turned it over. Why were you delaying it? And to make kind of a frivolous argument, well, the FBI is not within our control. We're just a little old prosecution office here. They were involved in the investigation. They have to turn it over. It makes you wonder why they don't want to do it and why they haven't done it to this point. This is why I don't get it. The government just needs to turn everything over. I've said it before. It creates doubt. It creates speculation of something nefarious going on. And finally, the judge says, hey, the way this is all created may change all these statistical numbers that the state's throwing around that, man, you know, Brian Kohberger is 5.37 octillion times the guy than just some excluded guy walking down the street. So, or some random guy going down the street, I should say. So that's what it is. Is it a win for Brian Kohberger? Yes, because the prosecution didn't get their way. Shows the judge being completely fair, very intellectually honest in his analysis and his opinion. Does it mean it's coming in at trial? Not necessarily, unless the defense is going to be able to show, hey, you know what? Brian Koberger has this brother that was unbeknownst to him that lived in the same area that drives a very similar car. That his DNA could be the fact of on the knife sheath button. Kind of a stretch, but the defense is at least allowed to explore that possibility. And guess what? If the experts for the
What is that? Is that the rapping cousin that Truth and Transparency had a show on? Is that what you guys? Oh no, you're not disruptive. That's the beautiful thing about here. Like you guys can have your conversations in chat too. I ain't worried about it. It's your comfort that's my concern. But is that why you guys were telling me to watch the Truth and Transparency rapping BK cousin? What? Because it could have.
What's his name?
Because it could have. I don't know. What is his name? I don't even know. I was probably working when that episode. Hold on. I'm gonna let Scott finish. Well, I'll find that video while we let Scott finish, and then we'll play that. Shout out Truth and Transparency. We'll play that rapping. What was it? His cousin, or his uncle, or what? What do I need to search? Oh, is that the guy or not the guy or what? I don't know. I thought it was a joke back then, but people a couple nights ago said it was really his cousin or something.
Wasn't it something like Hooked on Phonics or something?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like rapping or something, but I thought it was a joke. But is it See, I never even heard Brian Koberger's rap. Never even heard of that. Is it his cousin or not? Is it really his cousin? Or is it? Okay.
I think they're saying
thought it
no
was
relation.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke too. No relation? Okay. I thought it was a joke too. Okay. Back to Scott Rage. I thought it was a joke.
The defense go through this and find there's nothing there, we're never going to hear from these experts again.
You're
That's
good,
called the
Coach.
truth-seeking process, ladies and gentlemen. And we need it. It's good. And it protects everybody. Next on the docket, an Ohio woman accused of killing 4 men with lethal doses of fentanyl in order to rob them has pled not guilty to murder. Rebecca Auburn entered her plea alongside her attorney in court yesterday. Now, the suspected serial killer could have more victims, according to authorities, warning that their investigation is ongoing. Now, Auburn.
The FBI is back at the King Road house where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered almost a year ago. All of the plywood has been taken down while law officials gather more information. This investigation comes after suspect Brian Koberger's trial was delayed indefinitely in late August. Koberger is accused of murdering Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Carnodal, and Ethan Chapin in that off-campus home almost a year ago. Marissa Rio explains why the FBI wants this additional information and shows us what they're doing.
FBI is here right now, and they're using several 3D scanners.
Oh, it's the drawing. It'll be if anybody wasn't in the show this morning, tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a show. I'm going to be doing an art show tomorrow, where I'm going to be drawing. So we're going to hang out tomorrow night, and we're going to hang out, and you're going to see me do a picture. I'm going to be doing a profile. A profile that should have been done a long time ago. And you're more than welcome to join too. Probably I'm thinking about 7 Central, 8 Eastern, around there. It'll probably just be a couple hours, but we're going to be chilling back, listening to karaoke music, while I listen to or while I do this drawing, and I'll be able to hang out with you guys. I'll still have my microphone, my headphones. I'll have chat up while I'm drawing, and you guys will actually be able to watch me do the drawing and everything as well. So we're going to have an art show tomorrow night. So if you'd like to join along and you want to draw with, hell, even if you have a pen and a notepad, go ahead and doodle along with us. We're going to do some art tomorrow.
Enforcement is basically here mapping out the house for further investigation. The FBI is working to build visual and audio exhibits, as well as a physical scaled model of the King Road house, something they weren't able to do when the original trial date was set to take place this month. Laser scanners surround the perimeter of the home.
Well, I'll make you a deal, everybody. If you look up, if anybody wants to make a playlist, you have to make a playlist and make it public. And if you want to look up karaoke songs and make a playlist, and you want to send me the link to your playlist, I can, if you all want to come up with a playlist to karaoke, make sure they're karaoke songs. Come up with a playlist of karaoke songs, and I'll go ahead and add it to the show, and we'll listen to it, and I'll just let it play as I'm drawing. So then you guys can have your own requests, or if you want to get together with some of the people, in the show, in the community, in Discord or something, you want to get together and you want to come up with a playlist for art, go ahead, make your own playlist, make sure it's public, send me the link, and I'll go ahead and play it I'll play whatever you guys want to listen to. Just make sure it's karaoke.
So law enforcement can capture 3D digital photos. A few drones also fly above for aerial footage. According to a statement released by the University of Idaho, visual displays like these take months to build. The trial delay may give them the time they need. Part of the university's statement read, while the measurements and details needed to build a model were taken at the time of the initial investigation, the FBI is using this extended trial timeline to gather their own measurements and
So do you think that
Why'd they do the 3D stuff a month after the crime then? You remember that, right? Where that Feo company went in there and did all that 3D technology. It was cutting edge, but it looked like Nintendo 64.
I'm wondering if that was just inside and now they're doing the outside. And they want to do audio, what you can hear outside and inside.
It says they needed to build a model. I know they're doing audio, which is something you don't get with what the 3D technology that I showed everybody before.
Right, but you think it's the outside now? So they got the whole inside and outside?
Okay, but listen. Okay. Okay. How long do you think this would take? Now, I see how they got, this is one thing that they didn't do, right? You can see they got crews outside with, they're probably, doing those are, those distance things, where it shoots a laser, shoots it back to you, tells you how far something is away. They use it for a lot of, contouring and landscaping and things like that. Just like this lady over here, it constantly shoots a laser, and it pretty much tells you kind of distance wise for everything. So they didn't do that with the 3D technology. So I totally understand. You can see these little Faro. That's the same company. So the same company is the company that did the stuff on the outside. Now they're the ones that are doing the stuff on the outside. That's the same company.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same graphics? I hope not. Oh, geez. I don't think that takes film, though. I think that just is a measurement device.
Well,
I
it
don't know if
probably,
that takes photos.
most likely it does.
Well, here's the thing, though.
But you know what
Look,
would be interesting is where.
it takes
Oh,
distance. That's what I'm saying. It when you look at
that's
that picture,
interesting right there.
you look at that. It's the distance. That's what I'm saying. When you look at these things, it's a lot of like I don't know the word. It's
You know that rock?
where it shows like the elevations of things, the
Yeah,
different
3D.
no, it's what's the I don't even know the word. I'm trying to think of the word. It's an actual like profession. Surveyor. Yes, Miley. Surveyor, like a surveyor. Exactly. Look at the equipment. It's surveyor equipment. And so when you take into account that, because usually the surveyor equipment has somebody else standing on the other side so it can survey, right? Because you got two people usually when you're surveying. You got this person, you got the other person holding up the thing over on the other side. And that's why I'm saying you look at this mark and you look at this mark, and to me, it's like a surveying mark. Now, could it take pictures? Probably. But to me, it looks like the equipment of surveying. Maybe it does have pictures. I don't know. If anybody wants to look up Faro focus, if you want to look up what a Faro focus is, OPUP 350 number 7, I'm sure that's just their little tag number for that piece of equipment for inventory purposes. But Faro focus, if you want to just drop it in chat and tell us what it is.
3D reality capture.
3D reality capture. Does it have like a video showing what we can see what it looks like, Unravel? Do you have a video?
Request a demo. Hold on. Let me hit. It says
Thank you, Sheila.
3D reality capture solution, Faro focus laser scanner. Hold on. Let me see what it does.
Okay. I wonder so what is those squares like the spot it locks on and then does like that's like the focal point compared to everything else? Like, is that like Brandywine? You think was it like a focal point and then it kind of?
I just sent it to you.
Okay.
Olá, eu sou o Will.
Hello, ako po si Ryan.
我是法如中国英文专员黄芳。
Mon nom c'est Fachawashi.
Me llamo Rafael.
Hola, me llamo Juan Pablo Reyes.
你好，我是应用专家 Roger。
Is it?
I don't. It said a demo.
Okay. I mean, the description's in English. Everything's in English. What's going on?
Those bad boys are $18,000.
Hello, ako po si Ryan.
我是法如中国英文
It
专员
just
黄
says
芳。
music.
Mon nom c'est Fachawashi.
Me llamo Rafael.
Hola, me llamo Juan Pablo Reyes.
Oh, they're just saying their name. Oh, yeah.
你好，我是应用专家 Roger。
Ciao, sono Paolo Zani.
こんにちは、久保田と申します。
And we are the web demo team.
The web demo team, everybody.
What is a web demo?
It's an opportunity for you to meet 3D measurement experts.
What happens during a web demo?
During a web demo, we work together to find a customized solution that meets your needs.
During a live and personalized web demonstration of our technologies.
Together, we'll explore the foreign technologies that you are interested in.
Getting into the details and answering the questions that you may have. How can you get one?
Contact our sales team
And schedule a web demo.
At a time that works for you.
Don't miss this opportunity.
And remember,
You have the dream, and we have the technology to make it happen.
Boom, baby. They got the technology to make it happen. So when you're looking at this equipment, this Faro Focus 3D scanner, those got to be like focal points or something. That's interesting. Okay. Now, this is, let me find it here. This is the inside, and if you haven't seen it, I know some people aren't able to be there in the daytime shows. This is the inside of Faro Technologies, or whatever that business is called. I need to see if there's like an actual picture of or video of what they like an
I
example.
just found
Like,
one. I found one.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Go
Hold
ahead
on,
and
I
send
gotta
that
get
to me,
to it.
too.
All right.
That was pretty. That was pretty. Let me share that video with you guys. Hold on, if you guys want it.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's huh.
All right, here's the link to. Well, that's what I wanted to say about the sound real quick, and we'll get more to it after we check out these other videos. But how are they gonna? You would have to have the doors put back on. You would have to have, I would assume, maybe at least half the window was closed in Ethan and Xana's room.
Wait, what's that?
Like, you would have to have, like, well, I'm saying, because I think what they're going to do, I think one of the reasons they're going to test the audio outside, because they're doing an audio as well. And I think one of the reasons that they're going to do the audio is when it's coming to the 11-12 audio supposedly picking up the sounds of the crime. Because in the PCA it states that there was audio from 11-12 picking up sounds, and it's in the PCA. So I think that's one of the reasons that they're going to be doing audio stuff at that property, is they're going to be trying to see, can this ring or camera pick up this sound, number one, because I think it's going to be used as a question to then try and ask, why didn't anybody think that that kind of crime was being committed if 11-12's audio picked up those sounds? So I think they're not only wanting to know, can those sounds be picked up from that distance? It's not 50 feet, everybody. I could show you again and put it out. It's 65 to 72 feet. It's not 50 feet. 65
But
to
what's
72.
interesting is they
You got to
said,
have doors on there and everything if you're going to reduplicate it, right? But I think they're going to be using that to then also go, how come nobody else heard? Well, sure. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's 65 to 72 feet, and you're also talking. It's not a straight shot either. You're also talking about sound waves having to bounce around.
They also said something about a doorbell cam too, though. Oh, wait, what? I forgot the name brand. She said it. I made a video about it.
See, whatever the name brand is, if you're coming from the window,
But it wouldn't
which
be
is
that light.
right there.
It wouldn't be that light. She was said a door. What are those doorbells called?
Ring.
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of them all over my property, inside and out.
But that's
Like-
not a ring. That's a light.
But I'm saying no. It's a camera.
It's a camera, but it's not a doorbell ring.
No, that's the audio that it was recorded. The audio that supposedly picked up the crime is supposedly off that surveillance camera. And that's why I have that right there.
Doorbell ring. Is that a
Yeah.
doorbell ring?
A ring camera is a ring camera is everything. You got ring cameras that go inside your rooms. I mean, there's so many different ring cameras. You got ring cameras that have spotlights for your vehicle, and you
But I don't think that's the
you
same
got
thing, is it?
you have ring cameras that are doorbells. The ring camera is a
That's
brand.
how I took it. It was a doorbell.
It is. There's doorbells, there's spotlights, there's interior cameras, there's all sorts of cameras. From Ring. Ring is the brand, but Ring, it started as a doorbell. Now you can I got Ring cameras in every room. As soon as somebody walks in, boom, they're on camera. No matter where it's at, outside, inside, boom, 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 boom. Night vision, all that shit. Yeah, and one of them is a doorbell. And that's what's on my door. I have a Ring doorbell. And I have a chime that's hooked up to the Ring doorbell. So then when somebody rings my Ring camera and I'm in a different room, I can hear my doorbell. It's convenient as hell. You can have the chime hooked up in any room that you want to have it hooked up in. You can take it with you from different room to different room. You have surveillance on your phone, on your computer. It alerts you as soon as somebody comes in.
I get that,
I
but
mean,
the light bulb camera is different than the Ring doorbell.
it's just a different brand. It does the same thing. It records audio. You have the ability to talk to people. Yeah.
But what she's...
You got all sorts. There's all sorts of different
But that's
ones.
not what she exactly said. She asked a friend for it. It was a Ring doorbell.
Right. That's where the surveillance, the sister got the surveillance of the provider ride dropping the girls off is from the
Doorbell ring.
Okay.
It's not from the
That's where
light
the
bulb.
audio is.
There
the
has to be
audio
another
is
one,
coming
is what
from
I'm
the-
saying.
Another one.
There has to be.
Well, that's what I
She-
thought. I thought there was one in the back of the house because it keeps stating 50 feet, and it's not 50 feet. It's 65 to 72. I thought the same thing too. But then when I went back and I looked through all of my stuff before stuff was blurred out, I never found a camera. And there's plenty of pictures to show there's no cameras on those properties. I even looked at 1126 King Road, okay, which is 1126 King Road is over here, because I was like, well, maybe the 50 feet is off of this one. It's still too long. And it states it in the PCA. This is where the audio came from. And when you're coming here, that's 70 feet, 65 to 72. However you want to make it through where those sound waves got to make it. But the point is if audio from the crime can be heard there, that's why I feel like they're doing the audio stuff, is because not only will they want to know, can that audio of the crime really make it to that recording device?
Pin it up to
And
that back of that.
also, if it does, then how in the hell can the people inside not know? Make it do what? That's where Ethan and Zaina's window's at.
Right.
That's where
but
it would have
then
came
you
out.
see the middle part of the other house, not the next door house. In the
It said
back. Like measure you see the long house? Measure the back up to that.
Well, yeah, that's about 50 feet. But there's no camera back there. That's what I'm saying. I looked back here. There's no cameras. When I went back and I looked through everything to see once, because I had to go back to see if in my stuff that wasn't blurred out. That was the whole reason I went through my shit. To see what wasn't blurred out, who had cameras. I went to other people's that went and did drive-bys. I used their camera views as they were driving down from the apartment building down where 1122 was on their left-hand side. I zoomed in on their footage. Never saw any cameras on the back of either one of those two properties. There's no cameras. And when it's right here, it says it right in the PCA what the address is. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera ring located at 1112 King Road residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security camera is less than 50 feet from the west wall of Kernodle's bedroom. From the west wall? I'm giving you the best measurement possible to come up with less than 50 feet. In fact, let me redo it. I'll give you the corner, okay? I'll give you a couple more
the
feet.
straightaway route.
We'll give you, but the straightaway doesn't exist.
Well, in audio, it might.
No, you're talking about a roof. If you're thinking about audio waves, the only waves that are going to get picked up from an audio wave is the waves that are bouncing through these buildings. Because if this audio wave is shooting up to go straight over here, it's not going straight there. It's hitting this roof and bouncing upward. That audio wave is not making it towards the camera. It's going in a different direction. The audio wave that's being picked up is from the house, bouncing in between these buildings, and then making it through. Let me redo it. I'll kind of give a better example. Coming here, 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 and then just kind of making its way out like this. That's what the audio wave's doing for that sound there. If you're talking about the audio wave going direct, it's hitting that roof and it's going up. That's the only way that that sound can be heard.
But can you imagine even that long house, though? If there was somebody in the back of that house, or two people, because I think there's two rooms in the back, what they could have heard.
But that's not what's in the PCA.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's not. I'm just saying, if people were in that room, if the audio
I'm just
camera
going off of
picked
this.
up. No,
I know this
I was
is
just...
what's going to be contested in court, and that's why I think they need to do this. And how can you? So I think that's why they're doing the audio thing. Not only to see, can this audio make it to that, but also if it can make it to that, then why in the hell did you not call 911? How in the hell did you not know? That's another part of it. Because isn't that a question that's on everybody's mind? Is how in the hell can this audio pick up sounds of the crime enough to where they put it in a PCA? To where they're going to do a sound construction, audio construction? So if this can be heard, then how in the hell? And I think everybody, a juror member, everybody in this community, everybody in frickin' true crime, everybody has the same damn question. If this audio was real, and this audio was real enough to be put in this PCA, how in the hell did nobody know what the hell was going on, and why did it take so long for 911 to be called? Two birds, one stone. What did I think the sounds were as I heard them? I thought, sheer luck, I honestly thought that when I heard those sounds, I thought it could have easily been sounds from this part as well. Who says it wasn't from this property? Who says it wasn't sounds coming from here?
Yep.
Because to me, I'm sorry. That's why I keep saying if this audio is picking up something that happened at that house, then damn straight somebody should have known what the hell was going on inside that house. And what I really think is it's stuff that came from that property. And I'm just being honest. I think this audio right here that was put in the PCA was there because it was convenient. But I honestly think the sound comes from this place right here. That's just me. How can that sound be picked up on that audio and nobody in there know what the fuck went? No. It makes no damn sense. And this house right here, I have one, okay? Does it pick up sound next door? Yes. Do I hear somebody back over there? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. No, I don't. I'm just being honest. I don't hear the neighbor's freaking dog from way back over there. I do not. I don't think it was that.
We all know that far corner house in the back has doorbell ring cam too, though.
What, 1126 King Road?
The one with the underwears. Yes, probably.
Oh, you mean this one right here?
The farthest one.
Well, they kind of redid it.
Right.
They give you a shit old picture when you drive up the road a little more. See, look at this. This is what it looked like. I don't know. They give you 2007 when you're on this part of the street. Look at that. This is all the stuff that they did when they renovated that block. And then look, they just cleared all that shit out. But this house right here is what she's talking about. This one right here. And then there's another one that's behind that.
No, there's only 3.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this one, that one, and then there's another one. And that's the one that has the front, but it's in the back. They just totally like cleared that whole area out. Look at that. That's what it looked like. See this house right here? Dang. And then you got that one. And then they added that one. That one right there. They added that one. Totally cleared that out. But yeah, they redid that property, 1126 King Road, which I feel, because if you look at that one from bird's eye, that one's got to have something.
She said when the officers were there at her house that she ordered it that day, the doorbell cam.
What's that? Who said what? What?
That the girl that called the officers over when someone got into her car, she said that day she ordered a doorbell ring cam.
Yeah, but this is the house. Okay. So the house that you're talking about here. The house you're talking about is this one right here. This one right here. Okay. That's the house you're talking about. I'm talking about this one right here. This one right here. That's the one you're talking about. I'm talking about this one. This one right here. This is 1126 King Road. The parking is in the back. The front is right here. This is the front of the property. The front of the property, I feel like this one would have the best video and audio of the crime. That's the one that I've always wondered, because their front door is pointed directly at the frickin' sliding glass door of 1122. I mean, here's the front door. Sliding glass door. So usually with these cameras, right, you're getting your view. You're getting a bird's eye view. So you're basically you're going to record everything from here, trees, till about, let's see, this is probably your field of view for this camera. And it literally comes like way back here. All of that is your view of that camera that would be on the front of that property. So everything plus what's behind the yellow. Like everything beyond there. I just put that here because it's the corner of that house. Obviously, it's not going to record anything left of it. But you basically have video of the whole sliding glass door leading up to the door, the deck on the 3rd floor. You can see the ladder in that camera. You can see if somebody's climbing up the ladder, walking down the ladder, if somebody pulled up in the driveway, if somebody was turning the corner. You could literally see everything from that one. Another one that I always wonder as well is this right here. 712. You not only have all of this. You'd basically have all of that in your view for that camera. So that would be another one that you would literally see right in front of you, somebody driving by, a good shot of a side view if they pulled in, if they walked up, like Joe Dirt walked up the front drive, didn't go stealthy. But this is the only one. 1112 is the only one that we have in the PCA. But then it makes me question if you just have the 1112 in the PCA, what happens if, like right now, we're discussing how 1112's audio might not be the audio? What happens if 1112 audio gets squashed, ends up not being true, and then it's like, well, wouldn't you want something in there that there's no question? Like back in when you're putting that PCA together, wouldn't you, this whole time from January 5th up until now, anything could have happened with that PCA. There's so many things that could have just boom, all of a sudden it's determined it's not even real somehow. However it would take place. Wouldn't you want something in this PCA that's like more definite? If you did have 1126 King Road or 712 King Road video and audio. Just like if you had a plate or a picture of the vehicle, wouldn't you want that in the PCA instead of just saying that you had surveillance of the car going here, 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 here? What you believe was suspect vehicle 1. You don't even have it in there as a definitive fact. The verbiage leads you where you can say, well, this is what we think.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you, if you had a picture of the plate, if you had a picture of the vehicle, wouldn't you put it in there?
I don't know. Not if you're trying to cross your T's and dot your I's.
Why not?
Because
this is what you used to arrest this man. Wouldn't you want that stuff to be like spot on the money? This is, if what you used to arrest this man comes out as not true, that they can
obviously it's
dismiss
true,
it, right?
But I'm thinking they might want to leave some stuff out, especially
well, of course they're going to leave some stuff
if they
out.
know what they're coming up against.
Of course they're going to want to leave some stuff out. Nobody puts everything. That's why it's probable cause. You just need probable cause. But what I'm saying is this is what you used to send out to WSU. This is what you used to send out to Pennsylvania. This is what you used to perform the apprehension of Brian Kohberger the way you did. This is what you used to extradite him. This is what you used for everything. And that's what I'm saying. It's this important. So when a document is this important, even though it's probable cause, do you not want to have something that's for sure in it? Because when you leave 10 months out in the open, anything can happen. Somebody from 1112 could have proved that it wasn't audio from the crime, and then all of a sudden, oh shit.
But that's why there's
they use this to arrest him.
But
what I'm saying is they use this information to arrest him, and if they used information to arrest him that wasn't factual, what do? Un-rav-el? Because it's unfactual information if it's proved to be false. So if they use false information to arrest somebody, what do? There's a process of letting them go. It's just like saying his car is going all over the place. What do you think the jurors were asking for more evidence? I think they were wanting to know. They were wanting to see a picture of the car, because I think they got the stock photo, just like everybody else got a stock photo, and nobody else got nothing else. And I bet you that's the piece that they said when they were shown. They were probably given everything else in the PCA like we were. And then when they got to that part, and I think that's where 6 of the juror members said, we want to see more evidence. Can we see the picture of the car? Can we see the picture of the plate? Can we see the car? Well, no, here's the stock photo. Well, we want more. We want to see the picture of the car, not the stock photo. I think that's the evidence that the jury was wanting, the grand jury. And what I'm saying is okay, you're using that to arrest and apprehend and and extradite and charge and throw a DP on there and all sorts of this stuff based off of this document. And if you're basing this document, just like, why else would Pennsylvania and Washington both say in their PCAs, yo, we want everybody to know, especially when it goes to trial, we want everybody to know the only reason we did what we did in these documents is because of what was given us. Because they're like, yo, if this shit turns out true, we don't want to go down for wrongfully searching. We don't want to go down for wrongfully apprehending or any of this stuff, because we were given information for us to do this for them. That was why. And if it comes down into court where that part of whatever is not true, don't put it on us for doing what we did, because we only did what we did because of what they gave us.
Do you think they were going to actually take down that house? Or do you think it was like a strategy to see?
What? With what they're doing right now?
Okay, no. When they first said they were
ready
going
to take it down ASAP. And watch him do it on BK's, the date he got arrested. Or the date that, they first got the tip, or, some kind of anniversary with BK, just to kind of give it a little PR push a little more. Yeah, here you go, everybody. We got rid of it on the date that this guy was arrested. Whew. Let's go, community. Bullshit. It's just another way to push the narrative. Watch. How do you do this on Halloween? That's so creepy. Watch them, though. They're going to have this thing demolished. Yeah, I know. Somebody came in chat and said, yeah, they're talking about not waiting until after the semester. Well, guess what? Yeah, it's going to be before the next one. What I was saying a little bit ago, that's why I replayed that video that I made earlier from the morning show. It's a business decision. And they need to. Because if they don't right now, and something happens with this trial where it ends quicker than it's supposed to, they ain't going to be able to tear that thing down for a long time. So damn well.
I don't think they were gonna.
Oh, they would have already. They wanted to tear that thing down. The day that BK was getting arrested, they were having the cleaning crew going in there and cleaning shit out. And that was the day BK got arrested. Same day, remember? Because that's when Ann Taylor, after he was arrested, it was like 3 in the morning or something.
Strategy.
It was like 3 in the morning when he was arrested. And I remember getting on, somebody called me and woke me up. they finally arrested somebody. I was like, oh, shh, I got to go live. So I get on, and we're already seeing a cleaning crew. I was like, what the hell's the cleaning crew doing out there? And then all of a sudden they got shut down. You saw Ann Taylor's team out there. They wanted to, they want to get this thing freaking done. They've wanted to get this thing done since they had somebody that they could, they were trying to attach a Sentra, couldn't do it. They were trying to attach a vehicle out in Oregon, couldn't do it. They needed something to attach to. Then they attached to BK. Boom. Let's go. Let's go. Just like that tip. That's why I hope that I can't wait for this court date to see what the judge offers to the defense and doesn't, because he's supposedly getting all the IGG information. It's going to be very interesting, because I think they just want, as soon as they found something they could, let's go, let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done. Here, we're going to throw a DP at him so we think he's going to hurry up and take a plea. Shit, didn't work. Look at the other cases they did that too. They've done the same thing. If you look into some of these other previous cases, that's what they do. They throw these heavy sentences at these people so they take the fucking plea deals. They throw death penalties at them to take plea deals. Look at some of the cases from back, like in the past. Just in the last 15, 20 years alone. Just the different counties. They want this shit thing done. They want it done. Because I'm telling you right now, the fact if something happens and they don't have a person, if something happens where this trial ends early for some weird ass shit and he gets dismissed or whatever, mistrial, whatever, and they have to go find somebody else, there's no way they'd ever be able to tear that house down. You know that. How would they be able to?
I don't think they were gonna.
Oh yeah, they've been wanting to. Why else would the president of Idaho block my ass when I'm asking him questions about why he's demolishing the house if 3 out of the 4 families don't want it to happen and they're saying that they're going to do it? What do you mean they don't want to? They've came out 3 times, 4 times and said they were going to do it, and then the community threw a fit and they had to back off from it.
If they were going to do it, they would have.
No, they didn't, because the community and the families were pushing too hard. Why do you think that of us different content creators did petitions and started where, you know, things were call the senator, call the governor, call the president, send him emails, the president of Idaho, like all these different things, contact him, tell him to stop the demo. What do you mean?
If they were going to do it, they would have.
No, they've wanted to. It was the community that stopped them. It's PR, Un-rav-el. It's PR. They wanted
nobody technically can. Only the court.
They were Un-rav-el. They came out and were like bold about saying that they were demolishing the fucking house. Why would us content creators start petitions and email?
When has petitions actually really worked, though? They weren't gonna.
Why do you think they weren't gonna? They even had videos stating that they had statements themselves that they were gonna demolish it. What do you mean?
They weren't gonna.
Why do you feel that way? Because the statements that I saw from Idaho, the vandal, whatever it's called, they were gonna demo it.
They wanted everybody to believe that, or mostly
for what?
Him.
Why would they play with people's emotions like that? That's not. Why would you like tell the community that you're gonna do something just to play with their emotions?
I don't think that was the reason.
Well, what else are you gaining from telling people you're going to demo the house and then you're not really going to do it? What's the benefit of doing that?
the defendant.
But the
His
defense is cool
reaction.
with it. But the defense is cool with it being demoed.
Exactly. When have you ever seen a defense be okay with something like that if they were innocent?
So then why would that make the University of Idaho say that they're going to do it but not do it? I just don't understand it. What's the benefit? Because what you're trying to say is, well, they're trying to like pressure Koberger. No, they're not, because the defense was cool with it. So there's no pressure. There's no reason for the university to do that, to try and pressure the defense, because the defense was cool with it. So the defense not having, I mean, that has nothing to do with it.
They wouldn't want it to go down.
Yeah, what's the benefit of doing that? Because if you do that, you're playing with people's minds. What is the benefit of telling people you're going to demo a house and then you don't? What is the benefit?
Because
this is a business, and you're talking PR. That's not a good business decision, Un-rav-el.
It's nothing to do with business. It's
Oh yeah, it is. If you're gonna put, if you have a community that had that brutal crime happen, and you're gonna say we're gonna demo the house, even though people don't want it to happen, you're pulling on their emotions, and then you're saying never mind, never mind, never mind. Then you're really fucking with people's emotions.
But that's why they didn't say never mind.
That's not good PR. But why would they? Okay, but what I'm saying is if. Why would they even entertain the chance of them having any negative PR? It's not a good business decision. It's not. But the defense is cool.
I know.
The defense is cool.
But when have you ever seen a defense go and be innocent and want that to come down? If you're innocent, you don't want it to go down.
But I'm not talking about the defense. I'm talking about the university.
That's the reason. Yeah, but that's not. It's
take the defense out of it, because the defense is cool with it. You just take the
defense out of it. That's what I'm saying. No, you can't,
well, that's what I'm
because
saying.
that's the whole.
Yeah,
that was the whole point.
No, it's about the university.
It has no.
So the university is playing with the community's feelings
It
to try and get the defense to be cool with them demoing the house? I don't understand that.
But that's what I'm trying to. Okay, so okay, so
right. What did they gain by bluffing? That's so dangerous as PR for business. That's not good business, and I'm surprised you're president of a university if you make dangerous business moves like that.
It wouldn't be him that is. If he was told.
He's the president. He's not going to sit there and say a house is going to be demoed, or somebody underneath him is not going to say a house is going to be demoed if he doesn't have the okay of the president. I'm telling you that right now. This is a big business. That's why I'm telling you why they're doing what they're doing earlier. This is business, and that's not good PR. If you're trying to get the defense, like whatever with the defense.
No, it's
you're
all
talking
about the
whole. You don't play. But what I'm saying is as a business, you don't play with. It's a okay.
It's not them though. It's the LE.
It is. No, it's the University of Idaho.
I don't know.
The University of Idaho is the one that makes the decision on the house, because it's the University of Idaho's property. And if you're going to tell me that Chief Fry is telling the president of the University of Idaho what to do, I don't think so. I bet you the University of Idaho president just has much power as Chief Fry does in that town, if not more.
Okay, so
it's not good PR. You don't last long in business.
That's not what it's all about. It's not. It's about these 4 people.
No, when you're talking the University of Idaho playing with the community's emotions, when you're telling them that they're going to demo a house,
the community would act like they knew what it was going to happen. They knew. I mean, that's what it was.
Okay, so there's 3 out of the 4 families that didn't want the house demo. Do you not think that it fucked with their emotions? The 3 out of the 4 families that didn't want the house demoed, did it not fuck with their emotions when they heard the house was going to be demoed? You're telling me that the University of Idaho is going to make a business PR decision just like that to these family members, which can be any other community members or anybody associated, just like anybody in the United States or around the world that cares about this house not getting tore down, messed with their emotions, and you're going to say that that PR is worth whatever they want to do with the defense?
Yes.
No way. I'm sorry. When you're in business and you make business decisions like that,
But
you
it's
don't
not
make
about
it to the
business at this.
president of a university. You don't, because you don't make good business decisions.
It's not all about business. It's about
It is at the
somewhat
university.
whatever kind of justice they can have.
I'm the president of the university. That's all business. It's all business. He has that job because he made good business decisions. Why do you think they just acquired a year ago or so? Not even
Good business
6 months ago.
decisions is
Why do you think they just
protecting
acquired?
the-
They acquired another university. It's all business, Un-rav-el. It's all business.
and making that decision would help that.
If it
As
wasn't
long
business, they
as
wouldn't have bought another college. They would have put it into their own college. It's about business.
now when it comes to this,
Why would they do that? That's so dangerous.
it's more dangerous to have someone out here that potentially did this.
Yeah. And they want the house done, demoed a long time ago.
I don't think they did actually. I think they wanted the person to think, or the defense to think, that it was gonna.
Why? And that's what I was asking. What's the
And I'm
benefit of making the
okay.
defense? Because
So
they thought he was going to make a plea. They're cool with it.
no, I didn't. No, I don't think. I
Well, then
don't.
they got
They
egg on
wanted to
their
get.
face.
They wanted reaction.
They got egg on their face then, because the defense was like, "No, we're cool." So all
Yeah, but
that, all the
that's
stuff that the
proof.
university did, they got egg on their face then. Why would they do
Not
that? That's what I'm
really.
saying. That's not good
That's
PR.
proof. Okay,
Proof
so
of what?
say you are innocent. If I was innocent, I would not want that house down. I want to prove to everybody.
But they're cool with it being demoed, so you can't use that in your
Yeah, I
argument.
know that's. I wouldn't
So you
want, if
can't
I
use
was
that.
defense and I was innocent.
But they're cool with it, so you can't even
But if
use
I was
that. So
guilty,
what's the
take
next?
it down.
But okay, but they're not. They're cool with it. So what's the next one? Because they're cool with that already. So there's to say that they're
Well,
cool
that's
with
not a
it,
good look.
but they're cool with it. So
Exactly, it's not a good look.
So what do you
And it
think they
didn't
were
come
trying to
down.
accomplish? What do you think they were trying? Okay, so we know that the defense is cool.
Exactly what
with
they
the
got
house being demoed.
accomplished.
So you think that they wanted the defense to be cool with the house being demoed?
I don't think
You
they wanted
think
it. I think that's what they were looking for.
you think they what? They were
That's what I
looking
think
for
they
it,
were
but they
look-
didn't want it?
I think they
What
were
does that mean?
looking for them to want it down.
Yeah, so if they wanted it down, they want. So that's what I'm asking. So you're saying that the university did that? No, Tiffany, I'm just trying to understand. So you're saying the university did that so they could make the defense cool with it being torn down? Because that's
Huh?
what they wanted, right? I mean,
No, like that.
no.
No. Okay, so if I was innocent, I'm just saying, the defense, if I was sitting there innocent, I would not want that house down.
Right, which is how we all feel, but they're cool with it. So
Exactly.
so what were they trying to gain by doing
That-
that? They wanted the defense to be cool with the house torn down, right?
No, I don't think they wanted the defense.
What did they want?
I think they were.
What do you
okay,
think they wanted? Let's just get to the. What do you think they wanted to have happen?
It's proof. It's proof.
What do you think they wanted to have happen?
I don't know what
By
you
doing
mean by
what they
that.
did.
I don't think.
Okay, you're telling me that what they did is not what they wanted. Because I said, so you're telling me that they wanted the defense to be cool with it being torn down. You said no. I'm asking you then, since that's not it, what are you saying they did, since you say it's not this? What is it then? Why do you think
I think
the
it's
defense
just
is
more
or
proof for them.
the statement or the demo statement? Because I'm telling you, as a businessman, I run a fucking business, and I'm telling you right now, if I did some PR shit like that, fuck that.
But it's not about the business. It's about
It's
these
bad
poor
business.
kids.
But no, you're not following me. It's not. I'm saying it's a bad business decision. So to me, I don't see any reason why they would do this. I'm asking you.
I'm telling you though.
And I'm asking. And I'm asking you, what is the reason why they would do that?
To see.
To
What
see if
his
the defense is cool.
reaction.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
they just? Okay, but they knew the defense was cool.
I know, and that's a bad look.
So they were wanting to. They did all this to see what his reaction would be. I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to mean that they were trying to accomplish.
Okay,
If
but
they were,
I'm trying to explain. Like, if you're guilty, you're gonna want the house down, so you're gonna agree to it getting torn down. If you're innocent, you're gonna want it still standing, so you can prove yourself.
so they did that to see if he was going to what?
Want it down or up?
So they did all that to see if he wanted it tore down.
Yep.
That's what I was saying. They did all that to see if the defense was cool with it being torn down.
Yep.
That's what I was saying. So I'm confused.
I don't think they were ever planning on tearing it down.
But you got 3 out of 4 families that you saw Steve G last night. You saw how emotional he was when he was talking about how he didn't want that house torn down.
Nobody did.
Why in the fuck? I'm just going to be honest with you. If somebody is an individual that can sit there and pull on these family members' emotions about demo this, not demo this, because they want to see if BK is going to react a certain way, you're a sick fuck. Because that kind of fooling around
Depends
with
if you
people's
wanna-
emotions
If
is
you want that
fucked
person
up.
in,
That's a sick fuck right there if you can play with people's emotions like that. Because there's 3 out of 4 families that were dying for that house, pleading with the university not to tear it down. And if
But
the
they didn't.
university did that, played mind games with them about demoing it, but not really wanting to demo it, just because they wanted to see if BK was going to be cool with it or not, you are a sick fuck, sir. And that is very bad PR, and I'm surprised you made it that far, because business decisions, They come once in a great while, and you got to be ready for them. And if you're that fucking out of focus on reality, I'm surprised you were able to snag up those business decisions that helped you climb up that rock to the top, because that is bad business. And the fact that,
If he got
these
the
are
right
these are
person,
victims' families. These are victims' families that you're toying with. I can't imagine being at the dinner table of that family's home that didn't want that thing to be demolished. And as the days were counting down until they knew it wasn't going to be demoed yet, the days are counting down and they're sitting at that table crying to each other because this fucking piece of the puzzle that might bring justice to their family might be torn down. That right there is a sick motherfucker. How can you ever, and I'm not even blaming you, I'm just saying according to this situation right here, this scenario. So, Mr. President,
and
don't
this
sit
might
there and
not
think that
even
I'm
be right,
directing this
though.
at you. I'm saying
No.
as this situation. I just
I
want to make
get
that clear, Mr. President.
Oh,
Because what I'm saying is if you're saying that the University of Idaho is doing this to those family members because they want to find out, boy, you're a sick motherfucker, mister. Because there's other ways you can find out if BK is cool with this place getting torn down other than sitting there going, oh, it's getting demoed. No, it's not. It's getting demoed. No, it's not. It's getting demoed when you really don't want to demo it or you're really not trying to demo it. I don't see that. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
well, we'll probably come out if that was the case.
I don't see it. I don't see the. I see. This is what I see. I see them wanting to tear it down as soon as possible. Since the crime took place, I bet they've wanted to tear it down as soon as they could, as soon as they got done collecting evidence, and as soon as they got done arresting BK. I think the reason they started putting the cleaning crew out there the day BK arrested because they wanted to hurry up that process. This is just my opinion. I don't think that they didn't want to do it. I think they wanted to demolish that shit as soon as possible. And I think every time that they came out saying that they were going to demo it, it was the community and it was the families that put enough pressure on this university because PR people, business decisions, you put enough pressure on a university, what happens? They go, okay, everybody, we're sorry. We'll go ahead and delay it a little bit. That means, guess what? We're still going to demo it, but guess what? We're going to meet you halfway and we're going to delay it. So you're coming up in a negotiation. It's PR, it's business. So then after you get to that point, then you're going to do it again. The reason I think they kept doing it is because they want people to see not only when they're going to be okay, it'll be okay now, but every time they sit there and tell this community that they're going to do it and they don't, which they really want to, but they get stopped because of the pressure. But every time that they approach it, that gets the community more used to the idea of it, more used to the idea of it, more used to the idea of it. So then every
The
time that they
community
approach
there
it,
wants it
it gets
down.
easier. Nope. Maybe the people that live on the same blocks want it down. Totally agree with you. Because I can't imagine living on that block and having all these people go up and down, 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 up and down. Totally agree with you. The people in that community, no, they're still scared. They're still scared like nobody's been caught, still scared in that community. They don't want that damn house tore down. They want that fucker still up because they want the right person that committed this crime caught, and they want all evidence possible
Just
available
repeat what
to
you
be
just
able to do
said.
that. What?
They want that house up so they
Yeah.
can get the person
The right
that
person.
did it. Right.
Because they are scared like nobody's been caught, and BK is arrested and about to be on trial. Un-rav-el, what does that tell you? They feel BK's not the one, not necessarily the one. Okay? That's what they tell you. That's the reason why they don't want that house down. is because they are scared like BK's not the one. They are scared like BK's not the one or not the only one. And they want that evidence left up because that is part of a ticket to getting the right person convicted.
And that's reality.
And that's reality. So you're playing with those minds too. The only people that want that house gone are the fucking people, and I understand why, that live on those blocks. There's one way in and there's another way out.
And defense.
I can imagine the traffic going around. I totally understand. I'm not saying they wouldn't. Totally understand why. Totally get it. Totally get it. At the same time, no, these kids are scared outside that part. No. So when you're sitting there telling people you're going to do it, you're not doing it because you don't want to do it. You're doing it because you want to do it, and the community's putting enough pressure on you to stop. Now they're getting people used to it. Now that this freaking, it's all business in the video highlight that I put out today. It's nothing but a business mind. And when you look at it at a business mind, it's already started, everybody. I've done told you it's going to be demolished before the new semester. I wouldn't be surprised if it's demolished on a anniversary day, or some day that they got BK doing this, or they arrested him, or they brought him back to Idaho. There's going to be some kind of fucking anniversary to push the PR. He's guilty. That's why we're doing it on this day, everybody. They're doing this now. They did the inside. Pharaoh did the inside. They're doing the outside now. Because then after that, why do you think they did the inside? Why do you think they're doing the outside? So that way they don't have to have any of it. Boom, it's gone. It's gone before it ends up in a possible mistrial or a dismissal or an exoneration. It's gone. And if you look at it as a business, if you don't get rid of that house before any of the shit that I just mentioned happened, good luck trying to get rid of that fucking house after that. And if you're looking at it as a business decision, the longer that house is up, the longer it affects your enrollment. Because the quicker people forget, the quicker you recover. It's just business when it comes to that shit over there. There's something like when it comes to this show, sometimes it's just business. That's why I'm saying on my video, there's no fault to this dude. Like, you run a business, bro. You're in that position because you made good business decisions. That's why you are where you are. Because ain't nobody going to hand somebody making bad business decisions a whole university. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. You'll be out of there quick as shit, and they'll replace you with somebody else that will be good about business decisions, because every business, and let's be honest, colleges are a business. Every business has a board of directors.
But
every business.
It wouldn't have been good business taking it down.
Yes, it is.
Not then.
It's always been. The quicker those students forget, the quicker that house isn't around, the quicker people aren't coming around as much, the quicker people won't be talking about it as much, the quicker people start to forget because they're so focused on all this other shit. You're talking about a constant rotation of people. So in a couple years, there's not going to be anybody in those communities that really ever knew them that much anymore, because they're all moved on, and you got a rotation of new, you know what I'm saying? What do you think? They want that shit gone because the quicker people forget, the more people enroll. When you listen to some of the students out there, some of the students admit that shit. If I wasn't already going to school here, I'm going to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even have re-enrolled for another semester. Because they're scared that the right person is not arrested. But because they've already been going there, they're just going to continue to go there. But when it comes to their friends, they tell their friends to go somewhere. Because they're scared. It's good business for the house to be gone, because then people ain't talking, people ain't looking, people ain't driving by, and then your enrollment goes dun 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 dun. And you look at the background of the University of Idaho, you look at the monies, you look at the grants, you look at the funding, you look at where all of it comes from. It's all based on enrollment, because the students are the ones that perform the work. So they need the enrollment for the students to perform the work in order to get the grants and the funding and all these other program kickbacks. That's why the enrollment is needed. And if you're going to tell me that they're going to buy University of Phoenix online for over $500 million, I'm going to tell you right now, if I made a huge ass purchase, which I did with some green screen and lighting and all this, the microphones, and I made a big ass purchase, it better fucking deliver. You know what I'm saying? Just like them. They made the purchase of Phoenix. It better deliver for them. I better get my bang for my buck with this new microphone. That it better deliver. This lighting that I'm getting brand new, it better deliver. The green screen that I'm getting, it better deliver. You know, you have to get your bang for your buck. Otherwise, it's not a good business decision. If I get a microphone that isn't the bang for the buck, then I made a really bad business decision, and I'm out $275 just for the microphone, not counting the arm. Bad business. Do you think that I could have used that extra $275 for the microphone and another $100 for the stand to be applied for something else for the show? Of course I could, because I got a damn good stand and I got a damn good microphone, but I'm trying to upgrade the show. You're not going to buy University of Phoenix and sit there and then come back from buying it and not be... You're going to be worried about enrollment. You're going to be worried about the funding and all those things, because you just purchased a humongous purchase. You better be right. They're not going to have somebody up there that ain't making good business decisions. And the reason that you hear of University of Idaho buying the University of Phoenix online for over $500 million is because the dude makes great business decisions. So you, sir, president of University of Idaho, your business decision making, sir? Because I'm telling you right now, that purchase right there, to be able to do that as another university, you know business. You know business. Feds opened it. Well, they're still keeping it under... What's the wording? Do you know what it is, Un-rav-el? It's not a crime scene. They still have it under custody or whatever that... I don't know the wording. I'm fucking tired. Do you know what that word is? Like where they have it, it's in custody, but it's not a crime scene. It's like in between. You know what I'm saying? They have control of it, so they have it secured guarded, but it's not a crime scene. It's a way for them to keep control of it and go back to it whenever they need to and do whatever they need to do. But they're not going back there collecting evidence. We couldn't pull out a sketch. Well, we'll be doing one tomorrow night, Katrina. That'll be the art show tomorrow night if you guys want to hang out. Be doing the profile. The one that should have been created. And I'm going to make it as the thumbnail. So
I appreciate this debate. Thank you.
Oh, no. I appreciate you. How was your week, by the way?
Long so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. COVID's really hitting hard.
I'm finally feeling better now.
Good.
Yeah. It was a doozy, that's for sure.
Taking your vitamins?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah. Yep. I still got a little bit of congestion stuff, but it's pretty much just getting it out of me now. It's
Take that airborne.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, especially before I
build that immune up.
Hit the road. Yeah, before I hit the road, take a bunch of vitamin C and stuff. My kids have what you hear. Yeah, it's going around. That's for sure. What? There's COVID hitting over there a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Is it like a new strand or something or what?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I was tested negative, but I could have swore I had it.
Some do. The ones that well, I mean, obviously they we got it them in quarantine right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a horrible thing, especially when your immune system's down.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to be on location last weekend, and that shit just delayed everything like a couple weeks. Kind of sucks.
Take that vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc.
Yeah, I need to get all those. I don't have all those. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys the. Well, here we'll watch this video. This was talking about the technology, and then if you guys haven't seen the 3D, the inside stuff that we've covered before or we did this morning, just type a 1 in chat, and then I know how many people haven't seen it, and if there's enough people that haven't or want to see it again, just type 1 if you do or haven't seen it. We can watch that again.
King Road House, where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered almost a year ago. All of the plywood has been taken down while law officials gather more information. This investigation comes after suspect Brian Kohberger's trial was delayed indefinitely in late August. Kohberger is accused of murdering Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin in that off-campus home almost a year ago.
Thank you,
Marissa
Nicole.
Rio explains why the FBI wants this additional information and shows us what they're doing.
FBI is here right now, and they are using several 3D scanners. Law enforcement is basically here mapping out the house for further investigation. The FBI is working to build visual and audio exhibits, as well as a physical scaled model of the King Road house, something they weren't able to do when the original trial date was set to take place this month. Laser scanners surround the perimeter of the home so law enforcement can capture 3D digital photos. A few
Digital photos. Okay.
drones also fly above for aerial footage. According to a statement released by the University of Idaho, visual displays like these take months to build. The trial delay may give them
Right. It's not going to take months to actually collect all of it. It's going to take months to put it together, to build it, to put it together on a program, all of the measurements to be able for it to match. So this right here, maybe take them, what? How long do you think it would take them to collect this data? A week? A week of going around different spots here and there, collecting data here, collecting data there. I'm sure it's got to be daylight maybe when they're doing it. The daylight's going to be cut down quite a bit because you're getting into November. You're up in the way north of the country, so you're losing even more sunlight earlier. So I would say probably a week, a week, give or take, would be a good amount of time for the crew to kind of collect all of their information from every angle, whatever possible. And then after that, the rest of the work that they got to do is building it into a database and a program. So after they do that, they could literally just be loading it into the frickin' computer program, and it's cool to demo the house. Because you don't need to have it up when you're building it. That's the part that's going to take the longest, is taking the data that they're collecting and putting it into the 3D realism visual. They got to build it. Taking the data, building it. Other than that, the collecting it, they're just standing there, standing there, probably going all around. They got drones going up and down. You can only go all around and up and down so many times. It's the computer program is going to take a while. So as soon as they collect all the data, they're done. They don't need to have that thing up no more. That's why I'm thinking this shit's happening. Because this ain't going to take long for him to do this. And then after this, see ya. They can literally just be done. Well, they did this other stuff. I'll show you guys. They did this other stuff like a month after the crime. I'll show you. It's the same company, but they did the inside. I'll show it to you guys here in a second.
Them the time they need. Part of the university's statement read, while the measurements and details needed to build a model were taken at the time of the initial investigation, the FBI is using this extended trial timeline to gather their own measurements and images now that the personal property has been removed from the premises. Moscow PD tells me that the FBI is working to produce a product that prosecutors can use in trial. Due to the gag order in place, law officials were unable to elaborate or make further comment. The university has granted the FBI access to the house both today and tomorrow. Reporting in Moscow, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Tonight, FBI investigators wrap up the first of 2 days they're spending at the Moscow home where 4 University of Idaho students were killed nearly a year ago. They're on site today and tomorrow to collect visual and audio data that'll help construct a model of the home. Crime 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley joining us now live from Moscow tonight, where the FBI has just left for the evening.
Well, since the trial for the Moscow murder suspect has been delayed indefinitely, the FBI is taking advantage of this extended time to gather measurements of their own of the home to construct a model. Now, throughout the day, we saw crews gathering images coming in and out of the home and even bringing out what's left over as far as personal belongings and moving them outside. The home where Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves were killed 1 year ago still stands. Today, the plywood securing the windows and door of the house has been removed, and a specialized team with the FBI are on site collecting measurements and images. They launched a drone over the house this morning and appeared to be collecting images using 3D scanning technology. This will all be used to construct a model of the home. We won't learn much more about what the FBI is doing because it's still an ongoing investigation. So I asked Idaho's former state attorney general and county prosecutor, David Leroy, what he makes of this collection of evidence.
In this instance, it appears that the prosecutor is going to put some significant emphasis by virtue of a model and videos in terms of helping the jury understand how an alleged perpetrator might have moved through the house to get in, to go to whatever is alleged to be the first crime scene, to pass then to the second crime scene.
We noticed investigators are using Faro 3D laser scanners. The company's website says this technology can be used by law enforcement and prosecutors to reconstruct a crime scene and present it in the courtroom.
This is the diagram of today's courtroom. Everything you see here is measurable.
A demonstration video from Faro's website shows a few different ways to present the images, including a flyover view or virtual view of the scene.
But most importantly, you can create a specific viewpoint. What did that first responder
That's
see?
pretty shitty.
What did that witness see? Or what could the witness maybe not see?
Dude, why don't you just give us the real video instead of this rendition shit that looks horrible? I mean, I'm sure the real drone video looks a hell of a lot better than that. That looks like a cell phone that has like 1 bar of connection. Like, that's the kind of quality you're getting. Why not just give us the real drone video instead of this rendition shit that just looks horrible? I don't understand it.
I think this is footage from like a burnt house, what they got.
I know.
Like
I know that. I know that. But what I mean, here, let me zoom it in. I mean, here, and I'll share the link with you guys too. I'm sorry. I've seen like 780p video cameras take better footage than this shit. Just give me the freaking video of the drone and it'd be a hell of a lot better. Here, let me zoom it in. That's a rendition. Like, that is so fucking choppy, and some of it looks like fucking Minecraft. You know, it's like blocky as shit.
Not see from that perspective.
It's not clear what version.
Some of it looks like Minecraft. You know what Minecraft is? You ever played it?
No.
Well, my daughter played it, and I was
But I know
like,
what you're talking about.
I was like, I told her when I saw her play it, I was like, why are you playing video games that had worse graphics than when I was 8? Like, why are you playing at this day and age, kid? At this day and age, kid. Why in the hell are you playing a video game that has worse graphics than when I was 8 years old? I don't understand. It didn't make sense to me. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. It's your game. You know, it's your game. Just give me the real drone video.
It's not clear what version will be used in this case, but Faro's demonstration does give some insight into the possibilities.
I remember too. I'm like, you really playing this for real? Like, you really play this? Oh, fucking Minecraft, the good old days. All right, so this one is this is that 3D video that I was telling you guys about. So this is the one. I'll share this link to. Save it to your playlist. That way you can keep it for later. And then I'm going to play this. And then we're going to end the evening. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Again, this is the same company, but this is a month after the crime took place. I think it was December 15th. Let me see. December 15th. is when this took place, and this is the technology that they were using for the inside. And I'll show you some more Minecraft, but it's more up to the Nintendo 64. So.
Meantime, another possible new clue in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Investigators in Moscow now looking at new surveillance video from a business in town as they continue focusing on that white car seen near the murder scene. Senior national correspondent Brian Enton joins us live now. Brian, we found out about this new surveillance video yesterday. Are they any closer to catching this killer?
So they say today that they are making progress. They won't give us specifics, but they still say there's no known suspect. And the focus remains on the white Hyundai Elantra. They are still pleading with the public to come forward with any information about that car. They believe that that car was near the house where the murders happened, right around the time of the murders. We learned today that they are going through 22,000 Hyundai Elantra vehicle registrations from both Idaho and Washington. You can imagine it is a long, long process to go through all of those registrations, trying to figure out if any of them could have been connected to what happened here, Nicole.
Well, Brian, these detectives, they're really using some high-tech methods to process this crime scene.
They are, old school. You think of just photographs, but now they've got
You're on mute.
imaging where they take special technology. They go into
I was like, yeah, Oregon Trail. Yeah, Miley. Shout out with the do do do. Oh yeah. Oh man. I heard. You know what? I heard they have. I heard they have a new version of Oregon Trail. Oh dang! Hold on. I'll look it up after the show and see if they have it for my computer, and if they do, I'll get Oregon Trail and we'll play that some night when we do game night. We'll do the new, because I could have swore they have a new version of Oregon Trail. Don't they? Don't they have a new version, like an updated version of Oregon Trail now, because it's coming back? I could have swore I heard that. Let me know if you guys know if there's a new version. I think there is.
the house. It's what they did in the house behind me, which is still a crime scene, by the way. You can see the tape is still up.
Well, everybody, I got the board game Clue for us to all play one night. Play the game Clue.
And they're able to map the entire house out in 3D. We wanted to learn exactly.
I want to play that.
We have a footprint right here by the door.
A murder scene typically so frenzied, so complex.
If you get them the right direction.
Clues literally everywhere.
We have some blood transfer by the window.
At this mock crime scene at Florida International University's Global Forensic and Justice Center outside Tampa, police, military, and students learn the intricacies of preserving and processing a homicide.
A large number of cartridge cases here.
They also learn about this 3D imaging that can take what would be a simple crime scene photo and replace it with this.
A leather couch that turns into corduroy when it gets built onto this program. It goes from pleather. It goes from pleather to corduroy. I'm serious. Look at the it's a corduroy couch, but really it's pleather.
Look at the ceiling though. It even has the glow
It's
though.
corduroy. I know.
I'm talking about the ceiling.
Yeah, and look at this. Look at the fridge, all the junk quality, and then this is the same exact spot that you're looking at. Right there, nice and smooth, nice and the same color. You come back over here, you got corduroy couch, and that's weird too. It's like it looks like there's a tarp hanging there, but really it's not. It just I don't know. I don't know how this is cutting edge. I don't know how this is supposed to be kosher with the jury. Like, it's one thing if you don't see a fridge and stuff. I get it. I get it. But this has got to be just as bad outside. We saw the outside. It looked like Minecraft. This house don't need to be torn down. Unfortunately, it's going to be really quick. Real soon. That's just me, though. Same company. And, you know, it's the first case where a Hyundai was first a DeLorean and corduroy was first pleather. It's the first one. Corduroy couch, for real. First case where a DeLorean turned into a Hyundai and pleather turned into corduroy. And then it all turned into Minecraft. Or Roblox. Sorry, Minecraft and Roblox. Shout out both of you. All right. You got to work tomorrow, Un-rav-el?
I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, I'll be doing a true crime show in the morning, but I'll be doing some art stuff tomorrow night for the show. So
I definitely try to listen. I listened part, and then, you know, it started getting busy, so I had to shut it down. But I'm gonna finish watching it later, or listening to it at least.
well, I appreciate it.
Always.
Well, yeah, if you're not busy tomorrow, well, shit, yeah, I'll be doing my art stuff. We'll see. We'll get together. What night do you work? Friday or?
I work every day.
Oh yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but I get out now. I don't have to. I get out around 5
Oh, okay. You get out earlier.
earlier because I'll go in earlier.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna be taking a day or two to kind of prep for the trip. So there'll be a couple days where I probably won't be streaming too much if I do, just because I'll be getting everything ready and situated and organized. That way it's all done. And then when I end up taking off, then I'll be able to take off with everything done and everything ready. So, but tomorrow I'll be back for true crime, and tomorrow night will be art.
Are you going to be up there? When are you going? On the weekend or on the weekdays?
I'm still not sure yet. I'm gonna be deciding for sure, like tomorrow or the next day. I'm still waiting. There's one more thing that I'm waiting for this fire stuff to be done with. I'm still waiting for the one other group to come through here, that they have to come through here and do some stuff. So it's really all of this, besides me being sick, all of this stuff from the fire, I would have already been back home by now if it wasn't for all the stuff from the fire that I've had to be around for, to, you know, be here for them to inspect or check or, you know, go through or whatever. And I'm still waiting on the last group. So it's kind of a combination of waiting on them and trying to figure out, you know, how to get it all. It's all last minute shit, man. It sucks. I hate planning shit like that because it sets it up for you know, just shit to whatever. I like being extra prepared, but there's, you know, I can only do what I can do. Live life on life's terms.
Well, I'll be definitely watching regardless.
Oh yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do too.
Yeah. So really, it's up to that. I have to take care of this first before I can take care of something outside of here. So once that's done, we'll be good. So it's really all up to that, honestly. And you know, and I got a couple other places that I'm going to be going to in the next month and a half. So this isn't going to be the only one. There's other places I'm going to be going to. So it's going to be Been home for a few weeks. Had to deal with this fire shit. Now it's time to get back out on the road. Cover some more of this shit on location. And I'm probably going to be making a trip out to Vegas here too in the next month or two as well. Going out to Vegas and trying to cover some Tupac stuff. So that'll be... I would really like to be there for the trial, for the Tupac trial, because I don't see that trial lasting very long. And I think I'd be able to cover that one the whole time out of any of the trials, because that was going to be a boom boom bam over with. So I think that one will be a good one that I can cover. Plus I have family there too. So
Well, I sent you something about Indiana had a escapee.
yeah. Yeah, there's been a few. Ohio, it's happening a lot everywhere now.
I know, it's strange.
People escaping like left and right. I mean, hell, there's like 4 in Georgia that got away and they still ain't caught them 4. There's like 4 of them and they still ain't caught them yet.
That's
I'm not sure
crazy.
what I'm doing, everybody. It all depends on like what's going on with this last people for the fire, the fire inspection shit, and insurance and all this other stuff for the property owners. So really it's otherwise I would have been back home already. I would have been back home a few days ago, because I was planning on going a few weeks ago. Actually, I was going to be there for about a week or two, but then the fire took place and then I got sick and it just... And I think I got sick partially because of the fire shit too. I don't think that helped. I think that's where a lot of my congestion shit started coming from. But
I
enough
think
about
so
that
too.
stuff. Nobody wants to hear about that. Enough about that. But yeah, let's I'm gonna have to check to see if there's a new Oregon Trail game. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to play, and that's one of the things when I go out on the road. That's why I bought some games for this computer, because when I go out on the road, that's when we're gonna be doing a decent amount of game nights and movie nights, because when I'm out on the road, that's when I'm not going to be as well rested, because I'm going to be going out there doing different things, traveling, going to different places, getting footage, doing all this stuff. So those are going to be some of the times where, just hanging out, sometimes playing games and stuff. So we'll have different games to play. I got some new stuff for you guys when we have those. Thank you so much for you guys' kind words, your support. Thank you for hopping up, Un-rav-el. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for everybody checking out the show too. Appreciate you. So I'm going to go ahead and get off. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll put out a notification here shortly. And then tomorrow night, I can't wait. We're going to be doing our art show, drawn stream, first ever. We're going to be getting that profile picture that should have been put up on the store windows a long time ago. And they can use it if they want to, because I'm going to be going off of their description. We're going to have the PCA up. And we're going to have a profile suspect, and we're going to come up with our profiles. So send them in. Doesn't matter if you're good or not at drawing. Send in your profiles. We'll do them together. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow morning, we'll see you tomorrow night. Appreciate you, Un-rav-el. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate
Peaceful and
you.
positive evening. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye.